Well, hello. It'll buzz for the first few minutes, so I hope there's nobody around at the moment, because apparently it makes an awful buzzy noise when I first start off. So hopefully it'll have stopped buzzing by the time you all arrive. Oh, I've got one person here. One person is here. Oh, 3 people are here now. Well, welcome, welcome, welcome. Whoever you may be, welcome. So hopefully somebody will speak to me very soon. Oh, I've got 4 people here now. Ooh, it's party night. We've got 4 people here. Hi, Chris. Hi, Jane. Yes, hello, everybody. Whoever's in the house. Hi, Miguel. Hi, Ian. Hi, Joe. Hi, Rose. I'm very well tonight. My niece came this afternoon, and look, I am blonde again. So I'm feeling very happy. Hi, Dina. Hi, Silver Fox. Hi, June. Hi, Sandra. Hi, Chrissy. Hi, Dina. Oh, that's sweet. That's sweet of them, Miguel. Yeah. Hi, Ian. Well, I'm okay because I'm back to being a blonde. I've not got the black roots anymore. Oh, yesterday on my video, it was awful. It was all dark roots at the back. It was terrible. Oh, I can't pronounce. Oh, it's Johnny. Yeah, Johnny. I couldn't pronounce the whatever it is, creations. Yeah. Hi, Vanilla. Hi, creatively created crochet. Oh, I can't do these alliterations. Hi, Jill. Hi, Cheryl. Hi, Marsha. Hi, Kelly. Don't I have a wig? I've got several that belong to Paris, but they all look like wigs because they were only cheap ones that I bought for the mannequin. So no, I don't have a decent one that looks human hair wig. Yeah. Hands up. Oh, it's Dana, is it? That's what I can't get, the Danas and the Dinas and the, oh dear, Triple C. Yeah, that's right. I've got me coffee. It's the same mug that Denise has. It says, I'm usually gorgeous, but it's my day off. Yeah. Yes. It's a squirrel raid. Whee! Squirrels. And it looks like you drank your coffee. Happens in my house as well. Yeah. Hi, Amelia. Hi, Teresa. Oh, goodness, we've got a full house already. And it's only 9:05. We've got a full house. Yes, I've got my snacks. I've got my crisps. And I've got a... Well, I did have a Yorkie till I dropped it. And now where's it gone? It's gone right underneath the desk. Well, I found a lipstick, but I've not found a Yorkie. Oh, there it is. Can't do anything without me grabber, or otherwise known as a back scratcher. I have got an actual grabber, but it's in the front room. All right, so I found a lipstick that I must have lost before. And what I was trying to show you is I've got a Yorkie. And a lipstick. Oh, dear. Yeah. You love my mug, yeah, it's good. It's the same one as Denise has got, yeah. Oh, I am feeling better. I've got my hair done. That always cheers me up, yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, it's all right, Teresa. We'll forgive you. You ordered from Morrison's and they gave you free gingerbread man. Whey, aren't you the lucky one? Did he have buttons and a smile? Oh, yeah. Very good, Chris. This is my mug. Bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. Yeah, I am actually till I fall asleep. No, I've been having a good night's sleep, actually. So, that makes a heck of a lot of difference when you can get a good night's sleep. Oh, I'm definitely a coffee lover. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Well, Kelly, my niece has offered to post that magazine to you, but the trouble is now I don't know where I've put it. It's somewhere in the house, you know what I'm like. So next Saturday, hopefully, my niece will post it. So you might get the magazine. I don't know where I put it, Kelly. It must be upstairs. I thought I put it somewhere safe for you. But you know my idea of safe. I don't mind so much because I'm lucky my windows upstairs open right out either side of the big bay. They open right out. And it gets a nice breeze going, yeah. Oh, thank you, Nancy. That's the one that's took me 2 whole weeks to crochet. There will not be another one. There will not be another one. No, no, no. Yeah, so I slept. I mean, I had my nightie on, but I slept on top of the bed. So with the windows wide open, I was quite, apart from the fact I had a fox that kept yelping. Oh, hi, Granny D. A fox kept yelping and waking me up because at first I thought it was a human. And then I realised afterwards it was a fox. So after I realised it was a fox, I went to sleep. Yeah. It wasn't even 85 over here, I don't think, Ian. I think it was about 83. I was worse yesterday than I was the day before. I can do heat, but humid gets me. The back of my hair, when I was doing my last video, was dripping. It was dripping. Because my niece said to me, I thought you had a headband on because of this dark rim round. I said, no, it was absolutely soaking wet. Soaking wet. Yeah, I had me, as the West Indians call it, I had me rag. Can't go anywhere without me rag when it's hot. 85's a cold front. Oh, don't get Kelly living over there. Anything above 60 has kept Kelly sweating. Kelly doesn't do heat. Yeah. No, I don't like it when it's hot and muggy and it's like, you know, you feel everywhere's dripping. It's always my head that sweats. You know, I don't do armpits like everybody else does. You know, no, I have to do head. Yeah. Everybody else has big rings under their arms, but not me. No. The fireworks. Where was the fireworks here? Oh, I haven't got air conditioning. I've got the fan, as you know, above my head. I've got a fan. Yeah. I've got a fan in all of the room has got a fan. When I put them in, my son laughed at me and said, what do you need such big fans? The ones in the bedroom are massive. He said it's like Casablanca all over. A rosy wrap. Now I won't be a lady. I'll put one finger up. I won't put two. Hi, Karen. Yeah. No, I don't follow football, so I'd have been absolutely mad if they'd have kept me awake. No rosy wraps. No. Doesn't matter how long roots go. You even have a look like, what do you call it? Lily Savage. No. No. Yeah. Yeah, I had to go to the bank with that check again. Why do they keep sending me checks? Not that I'd mind, but I wish they'd just pay it into my bank account. We'll have to take this off the arms and getting on my nerves. Oh, auto sleep. Press any key to cancel. There we go. Going to sleep already. I've only been on 10 minutes. Oh, that's better. My niece said, What does it say around your neck? Does it say chocolate? I said, no, it says crocheter, whatever. I don't like it because it's on a black chain. Karen is a nice lady from Georgia. I would hope all ladies in Georgia are nice. Yeah, we can't have anybody being singled out. Yeah, we don't get Premier yarn, do we? There's a lot of things we don't get, but never mind. Kelly's gearing up to an ice order, aren't you, Kelly? Woo! I'm crocheting with ice yarn, but it's the ice yarn that Kelly doesn't like. It stopped smelling now, honestly, Kelly. I've had it in my stash that long, it doesn't smell anymore. It's antibacterial, and when you first got it, it smelt a bit like the cheap toilet freshness. Kelly absolutely hates it. She said it gives her a headache and makes her feel sick. But this has been in my stash that long. You've got the midnight train to Georgia. Well, actually, I've just been listening to Diana Ross while I was getting ready. So I've got Stop in the Name of Love in my head. Hi, Mary. Hi, Esther. Did I say... Yeah, we're talking about Premier yarns. We can't get it over here, yeah. No, this was really, really, really scented when I first got it, but it's been in my stash such a long time. That's yeah, semi-cowpack green. A lot of my dresses have got little splashes of this green in. And I have got one green cardigan, but unfortunately it's got wool in it and it makes me itch like crazy. I can't do wool at all. Can't do anything with them. Even if they wave wool over it, I can't do it. It can be 10%, it can be 20%. This skin knows, and this skin itches like crackers. Yeah. Oh, I'm so behind with my videos. Honestly. I said to Denise, can you slow down a bit? I said, I'm about 20 behind with you now. Can't beat cowpack green. Excuse me, this is lime green or chartreuse. It's not cowpack green at all. Don't you call my wool cowpack green. Chartreuse, yeah. I'm not adding any more people to my list. I don't care how nice they are, Miguel. I'm not adding any more. I could do with dropping a few off, but who do you drop off when you like everybody? You know, I can't sort of say, oh, I'm not going to watch her anymore because, you know, I must admit, if they're doing knitting or they're doing sewing or something like that, I don't watch them. And even if they're doing yarn hauls, if they're American and it's like Premier Yarn, Chartreuse, yeah. Yeah, so you know, I've had to stop, you know, watching so many because you know, if I sit there watching it, somebody showing Lion Brand and all these things I can't get and Premier Yarns, and I'm thinking, what am I bothering watching this for? Because I can't get the yarn, so there's no point getting myself all revved up. Somebody was doing, I don't know who it was now, sun dyeing yarn, putting it out in the sunshine. Oh, it's not snot green, don't be horrible. Oh my goodness, driver speeds off from scene after a person seriously injured in a two-car crash in the Manchester Evening News. Oh, that's charming, isn't it? That's really charming. It's happening a lot round here lately. I don't know what's into people. Well, the pubs haven't even opened yet. What are they going to be like when the pubs open? I hope they all leave their cars at home. We have enough of that going on around here. Hi, Tina. I'm doing well. How are you? I think we're all doing well. Is everybody doing well? Is everybody doing well on here? I haven't asked you all. I'm not asking you all one by one, otherwise we'll sound like the Waltons, yeah? So I'm just going to say, is everybody doing okay? You know, I'm not going through everybody going, hey, Tom boy, hey. Hi, Linda. Oh, goodness me. I was cold before and now I've gone hot. I think it's this coffee. Oh, Connie, no, we're getting thunderstorms. We've got rain forecast all next week, which is very miserable for me. I hate rain. I hate it when it's rain. When it's rain, 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 I don't like. Thank you. Well, I've had 2 surprises this week. I've had a phone call from someone who says, do you know who this is? I'm like, no. And then he gives me a clue and I went, Mac. Bear in mind, I haven't heard from Mac since 2006. No, you don't need to get a hat for the wedding. And then another guy rings me up who I haven't heard of, not for long though, maybe 6 months, yeah. Again, no romance, so you don't need to buy a hat, yeah. But it's just nice, isn't it, when people remember you and phone you up out the blue, yeah. And I thought, oh, but the first one, 2006 was the last time I spoke to him. And then he says, do you know who you're talking to? No, I've got a clue. My brain doesn't go back that far. Yeah, it was lovely talking to him. Yeah, we had a really good chat, for about an hour, yeah. I will keep in touch with him. I've got his phone number now. But being a lady, I won't be phoning him, but I have got his number. I don't want him to think that I'm chasing him or I'm interested. You know what I'm saying? It's nice to keep up with him. It's nice to be a friend, but I'm not in the market for anything else. But he does live in Northampton, so I'm quite safe. Oh, dear. Hi to all the ladies. What about the gentlemen as well, Linda? We've got quite a few in here. We've got Nathan, Ian, Chris, Miguel. You've got to say hi to the guys as well. The Silver Fox, I'm not sure. Are you a guy or a woman? Silver Fox kind of sounds like a guy, but I'm not too sure about that. I love Silver Fox haired men. Yeah, I'm just telling her there's lots of guys in here. I told her your name as well. Nathan, Miguel, Chris, and Silver Fox if he's a guy. Because I'm not too sure about that. But it does sound a bit guyish, doesn't it? Because Silver Fox as being like these film stars who've now gone silver grey. They call them silver foxes, don't they? I either like my men to be bald or silver fox. But that's the age group I am. Yeah. The 2 guys who've rung me up are both bald, by the way. They weren't bald when I saw them last, but they're both bald now. Philip Schofield, yeah, the silver fox. I've never really fancied him, so it's happened as well, isn't it? Yeah. All right. I've got a cousin that they call Foxy, but her maiden name was Foxcroft. I know it's an unusual name, but it was Foxcroft. So my dad used to always call her Foxy when she was young. She's married now. She's got a different name completely, but where's Linda going? Oh, big storm. Oh, gosh, don't talk to me about storms. My TV is unplugged, even though there was only one clap of thunder and one bit of lightning this afternoon. I've unplugged the TV just in case. I can't be buying another television. Foxy Cleopatra, I'm a whole lot of woman. Hey. Why is it when you have your hair bleached, it itches? I'm not going to sit here going like that because you might think I've got nits. What am I working on? I'm working on a cardigan for me. Ah, you just lost a tree. Oh my goodness. I hope it didn't fall on anything vital. You're working on being lazy. I'd be working on being lazy all week. 2 weeks it took me to do that. 2 weeks. I'm not making another, no matter how much anybody begs. That is going to be a one and only, I'll tell you. You're living by Stonehenge. Oh, all them revellers that went round Stonehenge. Oh, it's worth it, but if I was to charge by the hour, it'd be worth £1,000. But nobody would pay anything like that. They just don't appreciate it, so that's why there won't be another one. It was on a very fine hook, and the pattern just sort of didn't gel with me at all. It wasn't one, that you just click into. I mean, this is like a treat for me. Oh, have you seen the pair of socks that Zoe's made? They're shocking pink, bright, bright pink. And they've got luminous yellow tops and toes and heels, yeah. Oh, sorry, you're going, are you, Linda? Oh, sorry about that. Stay safe. I hope you don't get any more trees down. Yeah, the socks that Zoe's made would certainly make you notice them. You couldn't wear those and not get them noticed. You told Zoe they weren't bright. Well, the first time I ever met Zoe was I saw this woman coming across the the zebra towards me, and she had the most luminous orange trainers on. This behind me is actually what Ian made for me. It's stuck, Ian. It's kind of half a shawl and half of a waistcoat. You put your arms through it. I won't put it on, but it's what Ian made me. Isn't it, Ian? Oh, that's what it is. Nice colours. You can see them. Nice bright colours. Oh, so that's why it's on the back of the chair. And it does get warm. It's just half hanging off the chair at the moment. I hope it doesn't get underneath the wheels. That's the only trouble when I put the shawls on the back. If they fall down, they go under the wheels of my chair and they get a bit stuck. Yeah. Oh, I wouldn't want to make a doily. I think Nathan's making doilies. He's a braver man than I am. I mean, that was a 3mm hook, and that was bad enough for me. I don't know what a 3mm is in letters, because I don't do letters. I only do millimeters. Yeah. The only one I know is a 4mm, which is a G. Oh, doilies, the yarns, thin. I cannot get my tension with thin yarn because of the ends of my fingers don't have too much feeling. I can't grip the tension. The finer the yarn is and the finer the hook, the more I struggle with tension. But the same applies if I'm using a very big hook. You know, I don't know how people crochet with those whopping hooks that look like a poker with a hook on the end. I can't use them. I think DIY Creations always uses a massive hook. And so does Jen Cherry, you know, from Star Lily Creations. She uses whopping hooks. Oh, right, you made the shawl vest from Fibre Spider. Now, I've got some super chunky yarn upstairs that's been in the... there's some great patterns on YouTube for doing doilies. I've seen them. What was I saying now? Oh, I've got some super chunky upstairs. But I've got some knitting patterns because it's too thick to be crocheted. It comes up. The only thing it would be good for super chunky and crocheting would be to make a sort of, you know, those bag things that you put your yarn in, like, what do you call them, like a basket. Yeah. Oh, I can't do doilies. I tell you, I can't get grip retention. And these they don't do the tiny hooks. They only go as far as about 3mm, I think. But anything finer than that, you have to get ordinary ones, and they just slide in my fingers. And I can't use those little silver hooks, you know, the really tiny ones. Hi, Michelle. Hi, Ginger. Well, that's how Doris Chan started, isn't it? With her expanded crochet. She used doily patterns, and then she turned them into waistcoats and shawls and everything, because she did them on massive hooks. Yeah, massive hooks, and she called it expanded crochet. Yeah. Oh, I couldn't be doing with that flower thing. I mean, Kelly likes that, all them little flowers. I've got quite a few of my auntie's old doily patterns in my stash somewhere. Somewhere, she says. Oh, so people have just added to their stories. That's nice of them. Yeah, I just can't grip the hooks. I think Kelly's probably been the same if the hooks are too small. Don't know how your fingers go with tiny hooks. No, I know Kelly likes that sweater that's all in circles, but that makes me go. Yeah, the clutch bag was nice as well. Yeah. I need to sit back in my chair, otherwise I'm going to get backache later on. I have a habit of moving forward like that, like I do when I'm making a video. And then I wonder why I've got backache the following day. Oh, here we go. A dress? Gosh, you're a glutton for punishment, Chris, aren't you? You wanted to do all those circles. The very thin ones don't. You know, the ones that you use for the crochet cotton, Nathan, they don't seem to come with a handle. Oh, God, yeah. I had enough with that off-the-shoulder thing I did in all those granny squares. And I can't display it. I put it on the mannequin and it drops right down. And I'm certainly not wearing it. Because I broke my little zapper. Oh, hi, Teresa. The battery went in it, and I tried to get the battery out, and I was that busy doing that with it, and I got my nail file to do that, and the end broke off. Anyway, I spent all afternoon searching and searching on eBay and Amazon. And I said to Kelly, I can't find one. And Kelly just sent me a link and said, here you are. I don't know where she finds everything for me because I'd spent all afternoon looking on Amazon, looking on eBay. I obviously was searching for the wrong thing. I even asked a stockist of the camera if he knew where I could buy one from, but I never got a reply. Oh, yeah. Too thin. I mean, some of the ones I gave away, my crochet books from my auntie, were altar cloths because she was kind of holy. And she used to make the altar cloths for the church, yeah. So a lot of the ones were sort of religious ones with crosses and little symbols on them. So I gave those to somebody who did that kind of work for the church, yeah. Oh, I'm getting all hot now. What's this coffee? I'm going flushed. I feel myself going red. Oh, I don't know about Kelly's thrift stores and charity shops, but ours up here don't have any patterns. They don't have any crochet books. They don't have any wool, cotton, anything. They're just hopeless. I don't know whether the people of Prestwich don't knit crochet or whatever, and they don't hand them in, or whether if they get handed in, they've already got people who want them, so they put them on one side. Yeah, I'm having one of my tropical moments, although I'm a bit past that, really, Tina, but don't tell you it goes on every now and again. You think you're past all that, don't you? Then at 74, you suddenly get set in a hot flush. I think it's the coffee. I reckon the women in the shops have something. Somebody who wants all the yarn, because I can't believe that nobody takes any yarn in, or any patterns in, or any books in. There's never any knitting books or crocheting books, patterns, nothing. Apparently they have got hooks and needles in the back, but you have to ask them because they can't put them on display because they're considered, knitting needles are considered to be weapons. Whatever. I'll stab you with a knitting needle. I'm armed, give me your money, I've got a knitting needle. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not giving any wool to any of my charity shops because they don't put it out. So nobody gets a chance to have any. I'd rather give it directly to somebody, you know. It's not like I'm helping the charity because I don't know what they do with any yarn they get, but it certainly never hits the shop. Yeah. You go to Bury and they've got loads of it. And if Sue, oh, she says hello, by the way, she phoned me. Sue gets all sorts of things up in Scotland, yeah. Oh, I'm sure they'll do that, Nathan. I've got a lot anyway. I'd rather let somebody else have it who's, more desperate. I cannot part with patterns unless I've got two of them, or unless a magazine like I didn't like and Kelly did. Then I won't keep it. I'll give it to Kelly. I've really gone off into weave crochet. The patterns just lately have been absolute whatever. She'd post it for you, but it'll be next Saturday before she can take it from me. And I need to get hold of the lady who wanted the Peter Rabbit book. A lady got in touch with me, through Etsy and said, did I still have my Peter Rabbit book that she'd seen me showing? And I thought, oh, do I? Anyway, as it happened, I did actually manage to find it, so I need to get hold of her and ask her for her name and address. Apparently her daughter's expecting a baby towards Christmas, and he's got a Peter Rabbit, Beatrix Potter themed nursery going on. So she wanted to make these toys. Now, why are you worried, Miguel? Has the cat gone missing again? My friend in Scotland has lost her cat. Everybody's seen this cat wandering around the neighbourhood except her. She's been out rattling street things and rattling everything. And will this cat come to it? No. And yet everybody's posting photographs saying, it's here, it's there. So everybody's seen this blinking cat, but she can't get it to come home. Yeah. Who knows? What are you worried about, Miguel? What's gone missing? Is it the weather? He's gone very quiet. He's not telling us what's worrying him. No, he's still not telling us what's worrying him. Hey. I see Jill started on a she shed, clearing it all out, ready to update it all. She's going to put some of her yarn in there, isn't she, as well as, I think she's still going to be doing her oils and things. I'd be no good working in a charity shop because half the stuff would never get on the shelf. I'd be saying, oh, I like that, oh, I like that. Fortunately, I'm a big girl and they don't have many big sizes. The wrong city on it. Has it got the right postcode on it? That's what they go by, Miguel. They don't actually so much read the city, they read the postcode, don't they? Zip code, yeah. That's what they sort with, is the zip code, as long as you got that bit right. Yeah, but if the receipt had the wrong city on it and your box had the right city on it and the box had the right yeah, well, maybe he wrote the wrong zip on it. That's not the bit that matters, Miguel. As long as you had the right address and the right postcode on the box, then it will get to her. It's just because he's too dumb and wrote the wrong things down. You know, as long as you're sure you wrote the right one. I wouldn't worry too much, Miguel. If you've written it all out right, it doesn't matter what your receipt says. If you've written it out right, she'll get the box. I mean, it'll be a few days because mail's very slow at the moment. So it's not going to get there like tomorrow, is it? You know, some of our mail's taking a couple of weeks. Oh, hi, Ruth. You have me on the TV. Ooh, fame at last. I'm on TV, people. Oh, I've got a hair. Oh, you know when you get one of those hairs across your eye? Oh, I can't find it. It's driving me nutty. Hang on, let me have a see. Where's the hair? Where is the hair? Got it. Don't worry, Miguel. It'll be fine. As long as you put the right address on it, it'll be fine. Just because the bloke at the post office is too dumb and wrote the wrong address on your receipt. I don't know whether it was just a suburb. The receipt doesn't go with the parcel goes with your label on it. So don't panic. Yeah, that's what I mean. Don't worry, Miguel. You worry over everything. As I say, it was the post office man's fault for being so dumb, copying it down wrong. Oh, Bubba's still missing. Yeah, my friend's cat's been missing a fortnight, but everybody in the neighbourhood keeps seeing this cat. And but every time she tries to look for it and shout it won't come home. I said, somebody's feeding it. It's obviously happy where it is. They've even sent her pictures of it in their gardens and stuff, yeah. Oh, don't worry about it. You probably did, Miguel. Now you're starting questioning yourself. So you probably did put it's all down right if you copied it down. So don't panic about it. Well, that's what I mean. Don't worry about it, Miguel. Just relax. Everything will be fine. Don't worry about a thing. Oh, I saw a video on Facebook. This little tot, he'd probably be about 2 or 3, and he was singing that "Don't Worry About a Thing." He was so sweet. Yeah. And he had all the little face action, every little thing. He was ever so cute. I'm in love with Z's dog, Grandpup. Now, my niece was here and she doesn't really like dogs. And she said, oh, look at that little face. It's so sweet. I don't even know what kind of dog it is. If anybody watches Z, what kind of dog is her Grandpup? Is it a little bit of a mixture of all sorts of things, or has it got a breed? It's such a sweet little face. I'm not a huge lover of chicken. I'm not really. I don't know why. I think I had so much chicken in the past. Yeah, Z's little dog. What kind of dog is it? It's so sweet, isn't it? I absolutely adore it. I'd love a little dog like that, but I don't know what it is. I wish we had flat rate roaming postage over here. They do everything by the pound over here, or the ounce, or the gram. You know, if you're about 1 gram over, you go into the next post, you know, whatever. There's no leeway. Yeah. I only like chicken if it's very, very moist. I don't like chicken if it's the teeniest bit dry. And I will not eat cold chicken. I just don't like cold chicken. We don't have a flat rate. Everything's weighed over here. It costs a blooming fortune to post anything. My God. It costs me £15 to send a little thing like that through the post that doesn't weigh much. Our post is terrible over here. Well, it is if we're posting it abroad, yeah. We were talking today before about, you know, fears and irrationalities and being anxious and things. And I never used to be anxious about anything. But this blooming COVID, it's not that I'm anxious. How can I afford to ship? Yeah, that's why I don't send anything out. That's why I don't do any free gifts or anything, Miguel. You know, it's got me anxious about like going to the post office and going out and doing things. And we were talking about overthinking things, you know, when you don't go out for absolutely ages, that you sort of become like a bit of a hermit. And because everybody's been, you know, doing my shopping for me and stuff like that, and everybody's been telling me I have to stop in. You know, everybody's saying, no, don't go out because you're breathing troubles and stuff like that. Don't go out. that I've got over anxious really about going out at all now. And all these people going on beaches and milling together and stuff like that, making me anxious of getting the second wave. I mean, I just read today that there's so many been diagnosed today. Oh, hi, Denise. I'm just talking about the conversations we were having this afternoon about becoming over anxious about going out and doing things like that. Denise, look. Woohoo! I've got your mug. But I never was, even when all this thing started, I was like, it'll be over in a couple of weeks, And I've never been an anxious person. I've never been like a person who won't go out the door, you know. But now I'm like, even going to the bin outside is like an adventure, you know. I've got to stop buffering. All right, I'll stop buffering while you're in the kitchen, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's not making me ill, Tina, as such. It's just making me so nervous, and I've never been a nervous person. Never been anxious or nervous, yeah. But now I'm so sort of anxious. Oh, I've gone wrong on that row. I've never been anxious about going to the post office, posting things out, but it's making me like so anxious about putting things in my Etsy shop and stuff like that because I might have to go to the post office, and that's worrying me. Things like this would never have worried me before. I used to, blase through everything. Oh, I'll be fine. Oh, I'll be all right, But now I'm like, huh? No, I don't think I'm going to do that anymore. But I'm going to have to do something because I've got piles and piles of crochet finished off. Can't keep the lot of it. I've got no room left. Right, where's the mistake I made? Where is it? Is it right at the bottom? There, right at the beginning of the row. I know it's for me, but I still won't leave a mistake. I don't know whether you're like that. I cannot leave a mistake. I mean, people are always putting on Facebook saying, I've gone wrong here. Can you see it? And I'm like, yeah, I can see it. Don't worry, it'll be all right, Miguel. As long as you packed everything well and you don't get your cow smashed up like you did last time, yeah. I wish I could. I wish I could for I've never tried it with, going abroad and stuff. No, if there's the slightest mistake on anything, it has to go back. I cannot leave it. Even if it's like a few rows further down, I can't leave it. And I'm always saying, and people are saying, oh, leave it. It's not very noticeable. And I'm like, yes, it is. It's there. I can see it. I mean, I was looking through some books the other day, and there was a guy's sweater, like very open mesh sweater. And I'm like, there was a mistake actually on the picture, on the one that she'd made for the picture. There was a mistake. And I'm like, oh, she's missed a stitch there. I thought you could do that with. Did they do it all for you, Denise? Oh, I might try that. Link. Oh gosh, we'll link my Etsy shop to the Royal Mail. I'm a bit dumb like that, Denise. I can't put links on anything. As I told you before, I can't even join 2 videos together. That's stupid I am. Everybody's trying to teach me. It's like, no. Yeah, my mum used to say that. A blind man on a galloping horse will never notice it. And I used to think to myself when I was a kid, why would a blind man be on a galloping horse? I was always a very, quizzical child. And I used to say to her, a blind man wouldn't be on a galloping horse, Mum, because he wouldn't be able to see where he was going. And she says, stop it, stop it. Oh, Denise, I need more than that. I need somebody with a sledgehammer. This is what you do, Dumbo. Oh. Zoe tried to do it with me, but Zoe kept saying something like, oh, no, don't do it that way. I've just decided that way would be too hard for you. Let's do it another way. And I'm like, I was just trying to work my way through what you said 5 minutes ago. Oh, dear. I am absolutely clueless. If it wasn't for this COVID, I would, I've got somebody to come, even if I had to pay them to show me how to do all the damn things, yeah. You've got no snack. I thought you were having your dinner, Miguel. You don't need a snack. I thought you were having something Apollo or something. Chicken Apollo or something. So what do you need a snack for? I've got Kelly's snack here. It's been here for ages, but because I haven't been able to go and see her, her licorice wheels are still here, Kelly. And I can't really put them in the magazine because then my niece wouldn't be able to just put it through as a flat rate because it'd have lumps in the middle of it. I'll have to wait while I'm sending you something else, Kelly, and stick them in with that. You still need a snack if you're having rice and chicken. Why do you want a snack? I mean, I had my fish about 5 o'clock and it's 10 o'clock now, so it's 5 hours, yeah? You're having unsweet iced tea. Kelly, how are you liking your slimmy tea stuff? Did you manage to swallow any of it? Your hen's an up and have a little friend. Ooh. You got a stray? Yeah, I didn't think. It's like me, I bought some, was it ginger tea or something tea? It's absolutely, it's like mud. I tried one, took a few sips out of it and threw it away. And I'm just not going to drink this stuff. And I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy, so it's going to have to go in the bin. It's a waste of a few quid, but what can you do? It's just awful. Yeah, I'm not sure about it. Anything I've tried that's been something to do with drinking things, I went on that Lipotrim. Oh, baby bunny. Oh, that's lovely. So long as you don't eat all your lettuces and stuff, yeah. Yeah, I went on that Lipotrim once. They put me on it at the hospital because they said I was overweight. But what a vile concoction that was. I used to call it moon dust. It was awful. How people lose weight on that, it is. I got to the stage where I couldn't get it near my mouth before I was eating. It was on offer. You sound like me, Kelly. It's like that cold infusions I bought. They were on offer. They were horrible. A quid is a pound. which is more than $1. Yeah, I don't know how much of it is. Ah, you're working in your she shed. I hope we're going to see after pictures beside the before pictures. I like the way your little dog had managed to get between the shed and the wall. Gigi twice on Thursday. Little so. You panicked me like mad. No, a quid's not $1. A quid is more than $1. Yeah, 1.25. 1.23 is it? Yeah. At one time you could say that a pound was $1. You could work it out that way, but it doesn't work out that way now anymore. It all depends what rate of interest you get for everything, doesn't it, I suppose? What the going rate is. I can remember when they used to be like $2 to a pound. That's going back a bit, isn't it? You're spackling. Oh, blimey, Dina, that's a bit of a long list, isn't it? I've got one kind of psoriasis on the elbow. That's all I've got, thank goodness. My brother used to be covered with psoriasis. Oh, spackling is filling the holes in with plaster. You'd be shocked about the price of things in England, Miguel. Your money wouldn't go half as far. You know, things that you get at the dollar store and stuff like that. You know, it makes me laugh when people like DOY Creation says, oh, I'm not paying that much for yarn. They want so many dollars for it. And I'm thinking, try coming to England. You wouldn't even get a 50-gram ball for that price. No, our economy's up the wall anyway now with Brexit and stuff. My brother suffered dreadfully with it. It was all over his body. It was everywhere. Oh, he used to really suffer with it. He tried everything that the doctor tried to do it. And the only thing that abated it for him was when he went on holiday abroad and he used to go in the sea. And that used to take it down quite a lot, but he couldn't spend all his life living abroad and in the sea, could he? What does what mean? Well, Brexit, well, we've come out of the common market, haven't we? So we don't know what our financial infrastructure will be and how the impact it will have on things that we import. That's what she means by that we don't know what things are going to be until it all settles down. That we used to have a lot of concessions, you know, with buying things from the common market. We weren't paying a lot of import duty. That's why when Telly ordered the ice yarns, that she had £12 added to it for import duty, which we never had to pay before. So this is what's going to happen, you know, to us with hobby, hobium, ice. Well, we don't know until it all settles down. I mean, this COVID put, I don't know, on everything. It put a stopper on everything. We were all going to sort it all out. when this COVID came along, and now we don't know where we're up to. COVID kind of took the front page of everything, so now we don't know. We don't know what the effect will be, whether our food and stuff will cost a lot more. We don't know. You know, everything that's if we bought it, Kelly's going to buy it from the eBay shop, yeah. But we've always been used to buying it direct from, you know, yarns, buying things. Yeah, the COVID hasn't helped because they've kind of shelved, all the negotiations have been shelved because nobody wants to meet up with anybody else from a different country, do they now at the moment? Yeah, we don't know. I mean, even, you know, things like tomatoes, bananas, everything that we get from other countries, we don't know how much it's all going to cost in the future. You know, because we're not part of the EU. It's whether we can negotiate good trade deals and that, which is what we don't know. I mean, some of the countries might be still glad of us to buy their stuff, you know, and negotiate new deals with us. It's just, well, we should have never gone in the first place, should we, Ian? Let's face it. So I'm not going to get political, don't worry. Hi, Teresa. I voted not to go in the first place, but whatever. I'm old enough to have seen it all before. In theory, it was all supposed to work, but in theory, we got shafted. And that's the absolute truth. Oh, yeah, we could go in any store. We could go to the market. We could have... we could go anywhere to get stuff, but now... No, I voted to leave. I was fed up with them all dictating to us what we couldn't do, putting all these sanction things on us, saying we couldn't have this and we couldn't have that. We had to change this and we had to change that just to go in line with the EU. Nobody came in line with us. It was all the opposite way around. We all had to go in line with them. Yeah. That's why I never wanted to go in the first place. But that's another matter. No, we don't have yarn stores like you do, Miguel. We don't have anything like Joann's and stuff like that. We don't have any big stores that you can go into like you do. You have like choices, 3, 4, 5 different stores within striking distance. We have none of that. None of that. There are no big stores. We have no Joann's and whatever it else you call it. None of that. We have little tiny wool shops that charge full price for everything. This is why it amuses me when people are saying, oh, I'm not paying $4 for Red Heart. Yeah, my incenses probably stopped burning. And we're having to pay like £7, which is like about $9 to you for any Red Heart. And you're going, £4, I'm not paying £4. $4, I mean, we're going, please give us $4. We'll take it. We'll take what we can get. Gone out again. Yeah, over here. Oh my goodness me. Knocking everything down. Yeah, over here in the UK, we can pay £3 or £4 for a 50-gram ball. And hand-dyed yarn, we can pay sort of like anything from £12 to £20. But yeah, we've got Poundland Pound Stretcher Aldi, but they're nowhere near me, so I can't go in Poundland or Pound Stretcher. And they only have limited things and limited colours. And Aldi near me never has any yarn at all. But yeah, even £6 to me would be good for Red Heart, yeah. Yeah. But if we go into like the little shops around here, you're paying top price for everything. And like Sirdar, for example, which comes in a 50-gram ball, we can pay £3 to £4 for one of those little ones. Yeah. Which would be right about at least $5 for one little 50-gram ball. Yeah, but even buying online, Kelly, if we buy things like Sirdar and branded yarns, I mean, they're so expensive. You know, things like Rowan, and, you know, you can get gold bullion for cheaper. My Aldi is mostly a grocery store. It's got some junk in the middle aisles, but it never has any Kemps, you know, if it's discontinued lines or something like that. Yeah. But we don't have cheap yarn like you have in the US. No. I mean, that's why we're up against it here when we're trying to sell anything, because, you know, all our raw products type of thing, if we can't get it from ICE or somewhere, costs so much. You know. I mean, for me to buy cotton in the UK, oh, it's... Where did I get my yarn from? I got it from Sirdar, Hayfield, Emu, Twillies. We had Fildar. We had all kinds of things, yeah. But it wasn't as expensive then when we had our wool shop as it seems to have been now. I mean, Sirdar seems to have doubled in price, or more than doubled in price, yeah. Yeah, a Twillies Cry-Set cotton was the best thing that they ever did. It was absolutely brilliant. It was like a twisted cotton with a mercerized sheen, and it was absolutely beautiful to crochet with. And it was the same with Emu. Emu did Emu Pearl. And I mean, the shop closed, what, about 20 years ago or something like that? And I've still got sweaters that I made. They're a bit small now, made in Emu Pearl. I've still got some sweaters made in it. You know, if I could salvage a lot of the yarn, I would do, but I know that I wouldn't. I'd probably lose a lot of it if I started to undo it, because it's been washed so many times. All the stitching's probably matted together, and I wouldn't be able to find out which was the stitch and which was me sewing up, yeah. It's the same with Sirdar wash and wear crepe. I've still got cardigans that I wear, that I made when I was in the shop. And they're still going strong, yeah. There's not many people can say that about the modern yarns, that they still got them 20 years later. I've still got a beautiful cardigan that's a little bit small, and it's all like in an Aran design, and it's done in white cotton. And my mum made it for me to go on holiday with when I was still married, so you can tell how long ago that was. And I won't throw it away, even though it's a little bit snug, because I just love it so much, and it's just washed and washed and washed. That's why I've got so many sweaters in my stash, is because a lot of them are so old, but they're still good, and I won't get rid of them. Every now and again I do have a purge, but funny enough, it's never the old stuff that gets thrown out. It's always the newer stuff that's gone all. No, I never did knitting classes in the shop. I never had time. We were so busy. We never had, you know, like an hour or two that was free, where we could actually sit people down and teach them to knit. No, we never. We were such a busy shop that we never had the time. Yeah. Yeah. But I was spoiled. I mean, like things I used to crochet, things I used to knit on the machine, I used to be able to sell them in the shop, you know, and that used to be my little bit of pin money. Because when you work for your family, you just don't get much wages, you know. If everybody's worked for family, you know what I mean. You know, the profits in a little mom and pop shop isn't brilliant, yeah. So, you know, you don't get like so much an hour like you do in a big store. I could have got much more money working for another store, but, you know, I wouldn't leave my parents because obviously my loyalty lay with them, which my ex-husband could never understand. But they were there for me when I could, you know, when I had my baby and I had no money, and, you know, I used to take the baby to work with me. Yeah. Yeah, we had a lay-by scheme. We used to keep it for 6 weeks, yeah. I had little shoe boxes with everybody's name written on the outside and the date on when they put it away. And then we used to have a book where we used to write it all in if we took it out, yeah. So that, you know, we could try to sort of find it again if they did actually come in and want it again. If wanted to come in and buy a full sweater's worth at once, you know. Yeah, people just didn't come in. I mean, we used to get the odd person who used to come in and, you know, they'd say they wanted 10 balls of this or whatever. And then I used to say, do you want to lay anything away? And they used to go, what? No, I'm taking it with me. And it was like, oh, she just spent £20. Because my income was like 100 people coming in every day for a couple of balls of wool. That's why we were so busy. Because people weren't buying. Yeah, lay-by is like a layaway, yeah. If your garment takes 20 balls of wool and you couldn't afford to buy 20 balls of wool at once, then you would just buy whatever you could afford and put the rest away. But you had to promise to come and pick it all up, you know, within 6 weeks. But I mean, that did work out. Oh, hi, Isaac. Well, it did work out, you know, that most people could afford to knit a sweater where they couldn't have afforded to come in and buy 20 balls of wool all at once, yeah. Even me, I used to have layaway. Oh, lay-by, yeah. But we still called it lay-by or layaway or whatever. Even I did, you know, even though I used to have a discount, I still had to pay. I didn't get free wool just because I worked there at my parents. Because, I mean, you know, you've got to account for everything through the accountant. You can't, yeah, I used to have a discount. I used to get things at cost price. But we used to have to wangle it, so I did get things at cost price. But, I mean, the accountant knew how many balls of wool were coming into the shop, and he knew how many balls of wool were going out of the shop, and he knew how to work out all the profit that was in between. But my mum used to sort of wangle it, so I used to pay cost price for my wool, which made a big difference. But even then, I used to have to put it layout away. You know, I couldn't afford to buy it all at once, even at a discount. I've got two Teresa, and I wish I could. They're absolutely covered in finished crochet goods. They're piled up high at the moment. And I can't even get to them if I want to. And even if I did, I'll have to clean them all because they've not been used for so long that they need a good clean. Otherwise, they'll just jam up the wool. They won't run. It's like a car, isn't it? Like any piece of machinery. If you don't use it and you don't. Well, mine are set up, Tina. Mine are actually set up there. I could move everything. And bookkeeper, not so much so. I had to keep the books straight and, you know, put all the invoices in and everything like that. But we used to pay an accountant that did all the, you know, the sort of working out the wastage and what, you know, I mean, we used to get things stolen. You know, you had to have a certain percentage that got lost, if you know what I mean. Oh, sponge bars. God, they're so difficult to get hold of. I mean, now it's easier because there's eBay, but when I used to be trying to get hold of a sponge bar, I used to be all over the place ringing up people to see if I could get them because they go perished. I mean, my sponge bars are probably perished now. I probably have to buy all new ones. Yeah. Yeah. They're a knack, Teresa. People buy machines thinking that they're just going to jump on them and make a sweater. I had my first knitting machine when I was about 16. And it didn't have a piece of skin that's annoying me. It didn't have a ribber. I had to do mock rib, and I had to learn all that when I was a teenager. But I used to make some lovely sweaters just on a basic machine. All it did was stockinette stitch. It didn't do any patterning. It didn't do anything. But I learned to do cables. It's a bit of a fiddle because you have to swap things over and it gets very tight. But I learned to do cables. And then when I got married, I saved up and bought myself a great big, it was a Knitmaster that did all the patterning. And I had I've got books, oh, you name it, I've got it. I won't sell the machine because I spent about £600 on the machine, and I also spent about another £1,000 on all the gadgets that went with it. So now people would want to give me a selling. It'll go with me. I'll be buried with it. I'll take it with me. You know, like the Tutankhamun used to be buried with all his gold. I'll take my knitting machines with me because I'm not selling them for 100 quid. It will, theoretically speaking, knit some kinds of yarn, but it doesn't like a lot of hand knitted yarns because it has to be fine. Some of the wools are very rough. You have to wax them, you know, to get them to run through. You can't just get a ball of wool like that and knit it. You've got to rewind it onto a bobbin, otherwise it won't run. And if it starts to not run, it just knocks all the stitches off and you have to start all over again. So they have their idiosyncrasies. I mean, some days I used to swear at mine. Yeah. I used to swear at mine something shocking, and then I used to walk away, come back to it the following day, and it used to behave like a lady. You know, just behave like a lady, and everything would go superb, yeah. I used to do a lot of very, very fine knitted baby cardigans and oh, that's not proper machine knitting, that's that blooming, what do you call it, that thing I've got, that what do they call that, Addy. They're rubbish compared with the knitting machine. I mean, I bought the Addies because everybody bought Addies, didn't they? But they're in the garage. I very rarely use the machines. They have got their, if you want something, I made a lot of knitted suits because they were the kind of thing that was in, and it was very, very fine, like almost like one ply, like lace weight. And I used to make some little fabulous jumpers in that, very, very fine. They were like things that you would buy in the shop, yeah. A loom now. Looms don't appeal to me at all. It's a very slow way, isn't it? You have to hook it over and hook it over and hook it over. God, no, that'd be way too slow for me. It's about half. You probably wouldn't, Ian. You probably wouldn't. You think you want an Addy and you use it for about 6 months and then it goes in its box and it goes in the garage and then you never see it again. I tried making hats, but they were never big enough. I think Addies were meant to use with like Red Heart yarn or Karen Simply Soft. I remember watching Margaret, you know, that sheepishly sharing. You know, she used to use different yarns, but whenever I tried my English yarns, the Aran was too thick and it used to jam up. And my double knitting, they didn't make them, the hats weren't big enough. They were only like children's hats. I bought my Addy so that I could use up oddments, so I could make hats for the homeless, but they were never big enough, yeah. Some Aran yarn will work if it's nice and slender and it's acrylic, but other Aran yarn, if it's got wool in it, just jams, yeah. Yeah, I can't understand the joy of loom knitting. It seems an awfully slow way of knitting to me. I know a lot of people like to use them if they're partially disabled because they find it easier to handle the hook, than to knit with needles. Yeah. Hi, honey boo. People who can hold it like that and then just hook it with one hand. It's useful for people like that. Yeah. Oh, thank you, Deborah. That's the top that drove me nutty. It took me 2 whole weeks to do that. Yeah. Scarfy yarn. We've probably got something similar, Kelly. That finer stuff we got. Like when we went to that wool fair, with that guy that you met on the bus when we bought those. I still got mine, by the way. When I bought those 2 balls of like shaded wool from him together. I've got the last lot of yarn that I got when we went to the market. I've got all of that. I've got the yarn we bought when we went to that wool thingy-majiggle. I've got the yarn I bought from Countess Ablaze. I just can't get my act together to make anything. I've forgotten what colours I actually bought from Countess Ablaze. I need to look at them again. I was stupid buying only one hank, because one hank won't make a crochet shawl of anything. Yeah, it'd probably make a knitted shawl, but I think you used yours, didn't you, Kelly? Because I bought the one with the camel hair in it, and silk, because it didn't feel as itchy as the others. Poop cement looms. Oh, we were just talking about that this afternoon, about autocorrect. Every time I type Gigi on my tablet, it changes it to hi. So I'd be saying I've got Gigi for the day, and it would say I've got hi for the day. Huh? It sounds like I've been smoking something illicit, doesn't it? I've got hi for the day. Gosh, getting lace weight. Yeah, I've got some lace weight actually, in like a sort of maroony, aubergine colour. I mean, what was I doing? And I've got 2 big skeins of it. I know why I bought it. I bought that Christine Omdal, and there was a beautiful jacket on the front cover, and it was done in like a very fine lace weight. So I went to what was it called? A shop online, and bought these 2. It cost me a fortune. These 2 big skeins of this sort of purpley stuff in like a lace weight. And I've never used that because it's so thin. We had a bit of that, Tina, earlier on. We had 1 clap of thunder, 1 bolt of lightning, and it rained like the dickens, and then it stopped now. Yeah. I keep thinking I want a little dog. I know it's stupid of me, but I miss the company of Gigi when he's not here. And I don't get Poppy very often. That's my son's dog. I only get her when they go away, but of course they haven't been able to get away this year. But with all this COVID and my son being laid off, like, hey there. Hi there, Ruthie. Kurt made you watch a film. The bully. What a bully. Tell him off. Being a bully, Ruth. Making you watch a film. My ex-husband used to make me watch football. Yawn. No, my son suggested a ferret. What do I want with a ferret? He said they make good pets. I said they might do. I said, but I don't want a ferret. Cats, we've got 1,000,006 cats around here. So, you know, if I got a cat, I'd be just introducing it to the throng, yeah. So I just fancy, you know, that little dog that Z's got. I've just fallen in love with that little dog. It's such a gorgeous little dog. Oh, you had to watch football as well? That's grounds for a divorce, that. I'm sorry, Ruth. A guinea pig. Yeah, yeah. Ruthie's little dogs are gorgeous, yeah. Oh, I don't want a puppy or an expensive, what do you call it, dog. No, I would do a rescue, yeah. But I only want one that's a lap dog. I don't want one that, not got anything against a Staffy, but it's just that I couldn't walk it. I couldn't look after it. Yeah, a little Shih Tzu or a little Chihuahua or a little terrier of some description. That's a, you know, sort of an elderly one that doesn't want a lot of. I don't want a really old one, but you know, some of them they get in there, don't they, because their owners die, and they're, you know, maybe 3 or 4 years old, but they've never been used to a boisterous family or anything like that. They've always had a quiet life. I want one of those, yeah. Is your phone doing autocue for you? Ours was doing that the other day. I was having a conversation with Kelly and everybody else, and oh my God, some of the things it was typing, and it wasn't just me. Other people were typing all sorts of things, and it was coming out. I think you were having trouble with you, Ruth, with your words, with your auto cue. Yeah, I want something teeny weeny that doesn't want a lot of exercise. Yeah, is what I want. But I don't want a puppy. I am not subscribing to any puppy farms or anything like that. Yeah, I want one that's been abandoned for some. Not one that's been abandoned because it's a nasty little sod pot, but you know, one that's been abandoned because its owner's died or something, or they've had to give it up for some reason. I do not want a pedigree. Yeah, I'd love a little Chihuahua, but there's not many around. Well, there are rescue centres with Chihuahuas, but they're nowhere near me. Yeah, little. I'm not fussy about pedigrees. Like I say, I am not subscribing to these puppy farms and paying £600 for a dog. No, no, no. I used to have a little toy poodle when I was a teenager. They're good because they don't shed, but they yap a lot. Little monkeys for yapping, poodles. Same with Jack Russells. Jack Russells yap, 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 yap. Don't want one of them. And I definitely don't want a ferret. My son and his ferrets. I said, you get a ferret. I don't want a ferret. I've never fancied a guinea pig. We looked after a guinea pig with our income. Guess what, Mummy? I've been chosen to have the guinea pig for the 6 weeks holiday. Aren't we lucky? It stunk the house out. It was a little sod, and it used to shovel its blooming sawdust everywhere. It was, oh. It was a monkey. That put me off ever wanting one. I need a monkey. No, thank you. My friend had a little monkey, and it was a little monkey. Used to rip all the curtains up, chew everything, take bites out of all the fruit in the fruit bowl. Oh, it was a little sod pot, that wasn't. It was a monkey. It used to bite you. No, I think it was a cappuccino or something. It was one of them tiny ones, yeah. It's a dog room. dear. That reminds me of, what was she called? Dina. She used to have a cat room. She had 3 cats and she had a room. Yeah. Oh my God, my son, when he got married at first, she had cockatiels. Oh, they'd rip your place apart, Miguel. They rip everything up. They're little sods. They've got a capuchin. Yeah, that's what she had. They ripped holes in her curtains. They chewed her sweet. Oh, yeah, they bit her. They did. Oh, there was a little spud it was. She kept saying, I don't want to put it in a cage. It's cruel. It was going around biting everybody and biting everything. Oh, Gigi comes to bed with me when he's here. But of course now, cockatiels, they just are so noisy. When I used to phone Irene up when he first got married and he was, they had these cockatiels, I couldn't hear him on the phone. These things were... Yeah, I do, Teresa, but I want to see them in person. I want them to be local so I can get to them and see, to see if I like them, to see if they're the right personality. It's all right looking at pictures, isn't it? But, and I'm not paying the price of a puppy. There's no way I want a puppy. No, Irene had 2 cockatiels and they were so blasted noisy. Yeah, I'll find the right dog. I'm not desperately looking. I'm sure the right dog will turn up, yeah. My friend, she does a lot of charity work with the Pennine Trust. In fact, she lost her little Shih Tzu not long ago. And she wasn't looking for another dog. It's very religious, my grandma. My friend had a minor bird called Peter. That was a mimic, if ever there was one. When he used to go in and she said, do you want a drink, Jan? This blooming Peter would say, Peter wants a drink. And she'd say, right. And he'd say, I said, Peter wants a drink. She used to say, I'm asking Jan, does she want a drink? And he kept saying, but Peter wants a drink. Yeah. Oh, I'm frozen. Ooh. Am I back yet? Am I back yet? Am I back yet? Ooh. Yeah. Yeah, I know he was a monkey. And if we were watching television, he used to do all the sirens, off the, we'd be watching like American cop things, like Kojak and that. And he'd do all the sirens, everything that was there. You're trying to watch the television and he's doing sirens at the side. He was a massive big cage in the living room. He was a monkey. But he'd mimic, you'd be having a conversation and then you'd hear this little voice repeating just what he'd just said. And he used to put his head on one side and look at you as if he wanted an answer, And that bird was a character. I don't know why she ever wanted a minor bird, but oh dear. We used to go to Chester Zoo, but when you used to go into the reptile house, boy, did it used to smell. It used to be awful. The smell. And I had a friend who used to keep snakes, and his house was the same. He had to keep it really, really hot because of these damn snakes. And it used to stink when you went in his house. It was... Yeah, minor birds are great mimics. They used to mimic all the time. I couldn't do with one. I've enough. Did you notice, we went outside today, me and my niece, and there wasn't a bird making a sound. And I said to her, when I make a video, I said, so I just played her a little bit of my last video, and she said, oh my God. She said, the noise of those birds, she said, they're louder than you. I went, this is what they do. Every time I make a video, the birds start. We sat out there for about over half an hour, and there wasn't one bird cheep at all. Anybody want to rehire a lion? No, I wouldn't want a lion or a tiger or anything like that. No, I don't want to be eaten. No, I keep them at a very safe distance. I know, weren't they making a racket, Miguel? And yet today when we went out, half an hour we were on the decking. And she said, oh my God, aren't they loud? And I went, yep, that's what happens. You start talking to them the minute I go out there. No, I don't want to rehome a lion. A stuffed lion. I've got one somewhere up in the loft that used to belong to our Ian. They must want throwing out by now. They've probably got stuffing's all gone manky. I've got big bags full of his stuffed toys upstairs in the loft. I just want going in the bin. Yeah. He had a lion and then he had a poodle that was supposed to be a night dress case, but we didn't tell him that bit because, you know, he wouldn't have used it. It had a zip underneath and he thought that was a secret compartment, so we didn't tell him it was supposed to be for a nightie. Yeah, or you could rehome a lion bar, yeah. We've got, I don't know whether you have them in America, we have a bar of chocolate called a lion bar, yeah. Whippet's supposed to make, and greyhounds are supposed to make good friends because greyhounds don't actually need a lot of exercise, yeah. Oh no. It's bad enough when they keep seeing these cats in that, you know, roaming on Dartmoor. You're never quite sure whether people, it's like a figment of anybody's imagination or whether they really are out there, yeah. Oh yeah, Tina, you've got a new name, Tuna. Hi, Tuna, how you doing? Auto cue. I'm going to eat my crisps just to make you all hungry. Walkers. I meant to get another bag of crisps today on my order, but I forgot. I'm going to be crispless by the middle of the week. Won't do me any harm. Yeah, I think there are some big cats out there that people let them loose, I think, but they have them as a pet. It's like when they let snakes out, isn't it, you know? Snakes get too big for them, so they just let them out. They're going to die because it's too cold in England. My friend once had a shock of her life. This blinking snake, massive snake. I was snaking across in her bedroom and she's like, whoa! She's running around screaming. She runs outside and this neighbour said, oh, you found my snake? It had gone up through the loft or something and come down in her bedroom. You never wore a string vest. My ex-husband used to wear a string vest when they were all the fashion, and he used to have all crisscrosses across his back. Oh my goodness, they're tiny. If Brandon comes on, his little sister was only a couple of pounds. She was born very, very early. Yeah, I think I've got one in if you want one. They were made out of health cotton. And it was thicker than dishcloth cotton. I don't know how people used to wear them. Yeah, I think Brandon's little sister was about a couple of pounds, wasn't she? She had to be born early because his mum got preeclampsia or whatever they call it these days. Yeah, my friend nearly had a panic attack when it comes slithering across the bedroom towards her. Oh, the first lightweights here. Kelly's going to bed. String vests, they were like mesh, the vests, and they had like just ordinary armpits and that. Yeah, my friend didn't think it was funny when she saw a snake in her bedroom. It was not a funny day for her. Fortunately, she ran outside and a neighbour saw her and said, "Oh, you found the snake then, haven't you?" Yeah, go and get it. It wasn't a poisonous one or anything. Yeah, I think... but they say little girls do better than boys because little girls fight, don't they? Little boys are a bit rubbish when they're born too early. My friend in Scotland has a mouse in her car. She can't get it to come out. She was sat in the car the other day and it ran across the back headrest. Freaked her daughter out. Imagine having a mouse in your car. She can't find it. She sees it and then it disappears, and then she searches all over, under everywhere, over everywhere. It must have a little hidey hole somewhere. You left us in the shed. I don't think that lapel mic was any better than me just using my ordinary mic on the camera. In fact, I think it picked up the birds worse than the ordinary camera did. I mean, Chris said it sounded, he had to turn his volume right up. Yeah, my cousin's little girl was £2 something. I had to crochet up all these tiny little things really quickly because nothing fitted her. And she's about 35 now and she's a whopper. I won't say she's fat, but she's big boned, if you know what I mean. No, the mic doesn't have an on switch. It's just, you just plug it into the camera and it's supposed to, yeah. No, I'm not going to use it again. It wasn't any better. It was somebody who said they couldn't hear me the last time I was out on the deck and said I should get a lapel. And it wasn't any, it was just, no, it was all the background noise that came in stronger than usual, Sandra. All the birds, oh my God, what a noise they were making. I don't think it picked up. Oh, didn't think it picked up me any better, but it picked everything else that was going on in the world. And I'm not going to wear a headset with the mic stuck to my mouth. I didn't like it anyway because my camera was too far away, and when I was showing, yeah, it picked up the wind chimes, didn't it, louder than usual? And it picked up the birds louder than usual, so I don't think it was a good idea. Plus the camera was a bit further away and I had to leaning forward when I was showing the book. Oh my goodness, it really hurt my back. I was at completely the wrong angle. I haven't got a microphone like that. I feel like I'm on karaoke then if I want to hear. How can I show anybody anything if I've got a microphone? A big microphone. Pretend I'm on top of the box. You haven't heard me sing. Yeah, Sandra, everybody else said they couldn't. My camera's got a big mic, but nobody can hear me with that on either. Where's it gone? Oh. Oh. My camera has a big mic, but look at the wire. How could you go? You can't go 2 inches away from the camera. So it fits on top of the camera, but it didn't make any difference. People couldn't hear me any better with that on. Oh, you're going, Ian. Good night, Ian. Good night. Andy is waving goodbye. Goodbye. That'll confuse all the people in America who have no idea what I'm talking about. There used to be a little show for the children. It was called Andy Pandy. And he used to live in a toy box. And he was like a puppet. And it used to start off with, yeah, Andy Pandy's coming to play. And then while he was going back in his little toy box, it's going, Andy is waving goodbye, goodbye, goodbye. And then the box would shut. And he had Teddy. And then he also had a ragdoll friend called Looby Loo. So you Americans, now you've got no idea what I'm talking about. Yeah, Looby Loo. You remember Andy Pandy, yeah? Andy Pandy, the Wooden Tops, and the Flower Pot Men. And I even remember like Camberwick Green and all of those. Trumpton. Your president wouldn't like that, would he, Trumpton? Bill and Ben. Blah, 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 blah. How can you teach children to speak? 2 flower pot men, and all they used to do was go blob, 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 blob. And then this little thing in the middle used to go weed. Little weed thing in the middle of them. And the person who was doing it used to say, "What's that, Bill?" And he used to go blob, 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 blob. Oh, you can see something in the bushes, can you? Blob, 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 blob. How educational is that for kids? Oh, Pinky and Perky. We used to have an LP, actually. I think we just got rid of it. With Pinky and Perky singing songs. Yeah, Button Moon, Lamb Chop, yeah. I knitted a lamb chop. I think I still got it somewhere. Then there was the clangers. Oh, you're taking me to the bedroom. That's a novelty. You behave yourself, Miguel. Yeah, Muffin the Mule was the first one. You could see all the strings, couldn't you? You used to come clattering along the grand piano. Yeah, Sherry Lewis and Lamb Chop. We went down to my brother's wedding and she lived in Wimbledon. So killing time, we went on Wimbledon Common. And our Ian was only 2. And he kept saying, but where are the Wombles? And he was really disappointed that we couldn't find the Wombles anywhere. He was so convinced that the Wombles were there. Mr. Trevor's not here today, so my love has deserted me. He's got a rival, hasn't he? My boyfriend of 20 years ago. No, not quite 20 years ago. 2006. 14 years ago, is it, yeah? 14 years since I've seen him. No, actually, I think it's before that. 14 years since I spoke to him. Because unfortunately, he was in Stoke Mandeville Hospital for quite some time. He did the splits accidentally while playing rugby. And it did untold damage to his nether regions. Yeah, he rang me the other day, Miguel, out of the blue. And he's going, chattering away to me. And he goes, do you know who you're talking to? And I went, no, got no idea who I'm talking to. I was racking my brains, being pleasant. And he obviously knew me, because he's chit-chatting, and I went, oh. And I'm trying to place the voice, blimey, after about that many years, you can't remember, can you? Yeah, doing the splits, playing rugby is not the best thing to do. He said he can't even watch rugby now. And he was rugby crackers when he was young. Yeah, all he did was want to play rugby. But spending 6 months in. Oh, yeah, buy all my jewellery. No, it was not Trev that rung me. It was a guy I used to know from 2006 was the last time I saw him, yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm wearing today. They look like marbles, don't they? Very pretty. I do get occasional phone calls from Trev, but not very often. Oh, I'm getting used to it. 5 people not liking the video. Actually, there was only 1 for a couple of days, and I thought, oh, where's all my people that dislike me? I get up to 5, Dina. Yeah. 1 person presses dislike before they've even watched it, because it's like, boom, as soon as it goes live, boom, 1 dislike. As I said before, I don't care if people dislike me. I don't care if they press the dislike button, but please watch it first. Yeah, I've had 8 people. As much as anybody. I don't care. They still count as people, don't they? They want to dislike me. So what? I'm not worried. Doesn't it worry me? I won't lose any sleep over it. Can't like everybody in the world. Oh, I don't know about that, Dina. I have my minutes. If you'd have known me when I was younger, you would have thought I had a really bad temper. But I've learned to calm it down. I've got older and wiser. And now things don't bother me as much, except for going out with this COVID. It's got me all anxious again. I'd got over everything like that years ago. I got over social anxiety and everything, not thinking I was good enough, blah, 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 blah. But now all this COVID's brought everything back. It's like, oh, I don't want to go out. I don't want to go to the post office. What if I catch anything? What if I can't breathe? Oh, the job centre toughened me up. No, God. Oh, some of them have got 8, if you look back, Dina. I think the one that I said I was dyslexic. But it was just a business decision. We decided to go our separate ways, business-wise, but not personal-wise. We're still the best of friends. But you know how people like to tittle-tattle and make something out of nothing, don't you? They're not happy unless they're causing a row, are they? Or making you think out you got a row. But Kelly and I are just as friendly as we've ever been. We discuss things like that, yeah. So there's no animosity. It was just a mutual decision that we both decided that it just wasn't working for us to be together, yeah. So we came to the decision together. So I don't know where people got the idea that we'd fallen out, because we haven't. She supports me, I support her. It just wasn't working for us business-wise as a couple. Oh, we have a great friendship. This is why I can't understand why people were putting it about that we'd fallen out. Oh, I'm frozen again. I'll eat my chocolate while I'm frozen then. It's like when Sue moved to Scotland. Don't you speak to Sue anymore? Well, yeah, but she's in Scotland, you know. Oh, some channels, I couldn't watch them. Kelly used to watch the channel. Everybody was happy. It was kind of like a family type of channel. They all had children and everything. And then she stopped watching it, and I said, why? And she said, oh, they're causing bloody drama. I'm not interested in that, she said. But some people just want to cause trouble. They're not happy unless they're stirring something. We used to have a friend in inverted commas who was like that. Every channel she went on, she'd start digging and digging and digging. And, you think, why do you have to do that? Why do you have to rile people up? And then she'd be sending messages, like private messages to other people saying, oh, have you heard what she just said about you, blah, 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 blah. Why? No, I've got no time for drama. Yeah, some sites are vicious, yeah. Right, Isaac, your pigeons are going to get you up in the morning, are they? Better not wake me up in the morning. It's magpies at my end. They dance up and down on my flat roof on my bedroom. I can hear them in the morning. I think they have a tap dance. And they squawk. It's such a racket, my blooming. Yeah, some people like to gossip and stir things up. They go on something like that, and then they go on another one saying, have you heard what she's just said on there? And I'm like, ugh. Yeah, my magpies tap dance on my flat roof and start squawking to each other. Yeah, I hate people who like drama. There's people who like that in real life. I don't just mean on YouTube or on here, you know. They're not happy unless there's stirring up bother between neighbours and setting people against other people. And they seem to get great delight in being like that. Yeah. I can't be bothered. If I'm unhappy with a neighbour, I just don't talk to him. I don't go around all the other neighbours saying, oh, yeah, what she's just said about me. Oh, are you off as well, Connie? It's a raffle, you know, for yarn. She got set up on by two people who were really, really nasty. I stopped going on Ravelry because of that. Oh my goodness, some of the bitches on Ravelry are terrible. I wouldn't join in it. I just left the groups. I just left the forums. I've got too much self-respect to start arguing with people. When I first went on Ravelry, I used to answer back. I soon learned, no. If you answer back, you get ganged up on. Yeah, I mean, what's it that... She had her trolls again, didn't she? Oh my giddy aunt, I've forgotten her name. Names just go out my head. The lady who used to do all the giveaways. She did whatever it was, a tutorial, and people were accusing her of stealing somebody's pattern. No, people can't. Just not happy unless they're causing trouble. Bag a day, that's the one, yeah. Crystal, yeah. I mean, she gets a lot of trolling and bullying and everything. I mean, for goodness sake, the poor girl. Yeah, I mean, people criticised her when she was giving yarn away. They criticised her when she wasn't giving yarn away. It's her life. She does what she wants with it. Why do people have to, you know, give her so much aggro? I do not know. You know, if they don't like her, they don't want to watch her. That's, you know, just unsubscribe from her. Stop being so, you know, damn bitchy. Yeah, I mean, she makes all these patterns, and then somebody says, oh, that's not your pattern. You've just stolen that pattern from somebody else. How many times do we see on other sites people selling patterns that are like a carbon copy almost of somebody else's. It's just, there's only so many patterns when all is said and done, you know. Oh gosh, she can't win, can she, Miguel? She just cannot win. I mean, we all have our negative moments, do we? You know, like where you just want to have a whinge some days, but I try to be positive when I'm making a video. I try not to let my real life encroach upon. Oh, for goodness sake. What's she supposed to do? You know, to the way she keeps her yard. So maybe she lives in an area where her grass doesn't grow very well. It's not her fault, you know. You know, if she's got patchy grass, so what? She might live in an area where grass doesn't grow. My grass is patchy. You know, it's nothing I do. I've got a garden. But my grass isn't the best, you know. Oh, exactly, Jane. Yeah, yeah. Ooh, you're going for a walk. You're not going on your own, are you, Ruth? I hope you're taking Kirk with you. I wouldn't go out at this time of night with chihuahuas. Yeah, I'll chat to you tomorrow, Ruth. Yeah, I mean, she's got, what, 5 kids, hasn't she? Oh, yeah, don't go on your own. I wouldn't. I'd go out with the big dogs, but I wouldn't go out with the little ones. You know, my big dogs used to look the part. I had my son's big dogs. People used to look at them and go, I mean, it's got nothing to do with people, whether your husband works or he doesn't. He might win the flipping lottery for all we know. No, honestly. Yeah. I mean, I don't ask what people do for a living. I don't ask people what their money is. It's nothing to do with me. You know. I mean, my friend was a bit like that. You know, she used to say, you know, if I say something about my neighbour, oh, what does her husband do for a living? I'm like, I don't know. Well, he's been your neighbour for ages. I know. But I don't know what he does for a living. I haven't asked him. People tell me that's a different matter, but I won't say, oh, what do you do for a living? No way. Nothing to do with me. People have their own agendas. They've got their own money worries, money problems, or maybe they've got loads of money. I don't care. Some people are good with money, some people are bad with money. You know, nothing to do with me. Yeah, we've got it back over here again, sort of coming back again. It's all these stupid people. Yeah, I mean, you don't go round asking people what their finances are, do you? It's just so rude. You know, it's not polite. I would never ask anybody if they're working or are you on a benefit. I wouldn't ask. It's just, you know. I mean, obviously, at my age, I'm on a pension, so that's obviously I'm not working, you know. But I mean, when people are of a workable age, you don't know what the health issues are, you don't know what their problems are, why they're not working. So you don't ask. It's not polite, you know. You know, it's their business. I'm not that interested in what they're doing. Oh, you're independently wealthy? Yeah, so am I. That's why I wait every month for my check to come in. Yeah, I'm the secret multimillionaire that I just don't tell anybody. No, it shouldn't matter. You shouldn't judge a person by wealth or no wealth. You shouldn't. People do, though. People do. They think you've got money, they want to be your friend. Yeah. It's amazing how many friends I used to have when I had the wool shop. All thinking they wanted to be, oh, hi, you want to be my friend? Only because they thought they wanted a discount, you know. They want the wool cheap because they're my friend. But when you're in business, you can't have that kind of friendship with people. My customers were all my friends, but I can't start giving everybody a discount. You know. Yeah. I mean, when I watch Crystal, you know, I mean, yeah. Just think, gosh, she's giving a lot of stuff away, you know. But I mean, I don't say anything to her or, you know, how come you're doing this or how come you're doing that? No. No, my looks would never make me any money. I've left it a bit late to be a beauty star, a film star, or be on the commercials for my good looks. Yeah, I've left it a bit late for that. Yeah, I think all this cyberbullying and stuff is dreadful. Absolutely dreadful. I feel so sorry for the kids today. I never had to put up with that. If we had any bullying, it was face to face. We didn't get snidey. When we went home, we were at home and we were safe. We didn't get snidey comments, you know, on Facebook or people calling us names on Facebook and Instagram and stuff like that. We never had any of that. You know, I'm glad I don't live in this generation. I'm glad I'm not young, if you know what I mean, in this generation. Yeah, I'm happier than I've ever had in my life, but I'm happier in myself than I've been in my life because I've been through some, yeah, SH1T in my life. I mean, you can't get to my age with everything being sunshine and light, can you? You know, you're bound to have some in your life. But right now, you know, got my problems like everybody else, but I'm quite happy in my life. You know, you just have to make the best of it, don't you? As you say, real friends matter. My real friends come, and if my house is upside down and it needs a hoover, my real friends will get the hoover out. Yeah. Yeah, I never had that, Teresa. You know, my thought when I was younger that I wanted to look different. I made a lot of my own clothes because I didn't want to look like the herd. I've always been a little bit different, if you know what I mean. But nowadays, today, if you're not wearing the latest trends, if your parents can't afford it, you get bullied and ridiculed, and you know, it's just ridiculous. You know, you shouldn't be bullied because you've not got the right trainers. That's the whole point of having a school uniform, is to try and flatten everybody out to the same level. But that doesn't work because they've got the latest Nike trainers on or something like that. And I think that schools should clamp down and say, right. I mean, a lot of our schools over here have got anything with a logo on footwear. They can't wear it, and you get a lot of the parents. Oh, he's nah, 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 nah. And I'm saying it's there for a reason. It's there to level the playing field. If you all wear ordinary shoes with no logos on, then there's none of this rivalry and all this bullying people and taking their shoes off them and stuff like that. No, the UK don't have a flat rate for anything. Everything gets weighed. Even if I was sending a nail polish through the post. Yeah, kids steal, steal iPhones off them. Why give a kid a £600 phone and then let him take it to school? Huh? And then he gets it stolen. Yeah, right, okay. Asking for trouble. Because the little shit's probably bragging about it. Yeah. You're wandering around with a laptop under their arm that cost a small fortune. Why let them do it? Then you're up in arms if he gets mugged. We never had any of that trouble. There was no mobile phones when I was little. Yeah, some of the phones are like £600 these days, aren't they? Or whatever. They do everything except make you a cup of tea, don't they? I wouldn't pay that kind of money, not even if I had it. There's no way. I mean, if my kid had come home with something, I would have been like, where have you got it from? Whose is it? What is it? And yet other people would be saying, oh, yeah, just take it in and don't say a word. And they know it's not their kids. They know full well that kid. I mean, I once found a gold charm bracelet, absolutely overloaded with gold it was. And somebody said to me, what did you do? I said, well, I reported it to the police that, I'd found it, and if anybody wanted it, you know what I mean? I got it, yeah. And I left all the details. They took photographs and everything like that. And a friend of mine said to me, a good friend of mine, said, oh, I'd have been straight into the jewellery shop to have it valued, I'd have sold it. And I'm like, it never even entered my mind. I was thinking, some poor soul has been collecting these charms for years. It could be great sentimental value. It could be her grandchildren who've bought her these charms. Could be, and it belonged to a lady. And she was really grateful for getting it back. I could not have kept that, especially not go to a jeweller's and have it valued and sold it. No way. And yet my friend was quite disgusted with me because I'd given it back, if you know what I mean. But that's the way I was brought up. I was brought up that if it's not yours, you don't keep it. I mean, I did get a beautiful Parker pen. I found it in the street. It was a gorgeous, gorgeous pen. And I took it to the police station. It had a gold nib and everything. And I was only a child, about 6 or 7. Took it to the police station with my mum. Said where we'd found it. And they said, come back. If it doesn't get claimed, come back in about, I think it was about 6 weeks or something like that. Come back and ask if it's been claimed. Anyway, I went back and it hadn't. So I was, lovely pen. But I was only about 6 or 7. My mum made me give it to my brother because he was at uni. She said, he's never had anything nice in his life. And my brother treasured that pen. Absolutely loved that pen. It was a fountain pen, and it was a Parker, which is a really good brand, but especially because it had a gold nib. So I was really proud of my pen that my brother finished up with. But I mean, he was like me, he had nothing to brag about. And he really treasured that pen. But I wouldn't have just kept it. I had to take it to the police station. That's the way I was brought up, you see. Yeah. I mean, also, when I was in my 30s, I was pulling up in my car and a young man jumped out of the car in front of me and ran across the road. And as he ran across the road, something fell out of his pocket. So I got out of my car and I went and I picked it up. And it was a roll of notes, absolutely all rolled up with an elastic band around it. So I saw the shop that he'd gone into. So I walked in behind him and I said, "Excuse me," I said, "have you lost anything?" And he pat in his pockets and he went about 17 shades. And he goes, "Oh my God, I've lost my boss's takings," he said. And I went, "There you are." And he said, "Oh, I can't thank you enough." He said, "It's the first time my boss has trusted me to till up, in the shop and do the takings." He said, "I would have lost my job." He said he would have been convinced I'd stolen them. But I never even thought to keep it. It was just never, the first thought I had was to find out which shop he'd gone into and give it him back. It's not the way I was brought up. And there was quite a wad of money there, yeah. It wasn't like a little bit, but it was the way I was brought up. You don't keep anything that's not yours. I mean, obviously, if you find a pound coin in the street and there's nobody for miles, I would put that in my pocket, yeah. Because you think, well, there's nobody in the street, nobody around, there's a pound coin there in the middle of the road. Somebody's dropped it out of the pocket. I would keep that. I mean, that I would, yeah. But not if I knew somebody had dropped it. I saw it drop out of the pocket or the purse or whatever. I mean, I watched a good friend of my husband's once. We were down in the squash club and this guy dropped a £10 note out of his pocket. And I watched this friend of my ex-husband's put his foot over it. And I thought, When this guy had wandered off from the bar with his drinks and everything like that, he casually bent down, lifted his foot up and put the tenner in his pocket. I was appalled. I never forgot that. He knew he'd seen that bloke drop that money. And he put it in his own pocket. No. I went right off him. He wasn't a poor man either, he was a man who had well oiled, you know what I mean? He had enough money to spare. He didn't need that tenner. I mean, if that had been me, I'd have been saying, "Excuse me, you just dropped this, love." I've had all sorts of things taken from me at times, but just one of them things, I always try and be sociable and think that maybe they needed the money more than I did, but you're still a bit peeved, aren't you, when somebody's nicked your purse? Especially if there's a few quid in it, yeah. Yeah, I always handed things in. Yeah, it's true that, Chris. If you're ever short of anything, you don't ask anybody who's rich. If you ask somebody who's poor or homeless, they'll let you have it. Yeah, I was waiting for my friend and I was dressed inappropriately for the weather and I was shivering. And this homeless man came and he had a new blanket with him that he'd just been given as a Christmas present. And he wanted to put it round my shoulders until my taxi came to keep me warm. And I thought, nobody else would have done that, but he was homeless and he offered me his brand new blanket to keep me warm until my taxi came. And I said, "No, you're all right, love." I said, "My taxi will be here in a minute." And he was like, "Are you sure you're okay? You sure you're okay? You can borrow my blanket, And I'm thinking, a businessman or anybody rich going past wouldn't have offered me his coat for 5 minutes, would he? No. But this poor little guy, young guy, offered me his new blanket. But that's what I say is, it's the poorest of people who are the ones who'll give you what they haven't got. I used to find that out when I was a kid. You know, none of us had any money when I was a kid. None of us on the whole block, the whole street, nobody had any money. But my goodness, they used to share. If anybody had anything, they weren't selfish. They used to share. If you had more sugar and you knew somebody didn't have sugar for the tea, you'd give them a little bit of sugar, you know. You wouldn't keep it all for yourself. You know, if you knew that the old lady next door didn't have any sugar for her tea. I mean, you wouldn't give her a full bag full, but you give her a little screw, you know, a little screw of paper with some sugar in it. And say, yeah, that's for your tea. My mother used to have me knocking on people's door, saying Mrs. So-and-so's run out of sugar or run out of something, yeah. Yeah, we always shared. And if you'd made too much dinner, in those days, if you ever did make too much dinner, but you know what I mean. Sometimes my mother was very good at, you know, making things out of nothing. And if she had a little bit of dinner left, she'd go see Mrs. Garside next door, see if she had a dinner, see if she wants a bit. And she'd give her a little bowl full of whatever we were eating. When I used to say, I would only be about 6 or 7, my mum used to say, you'll be old one day, you'll be old. You'll be grateful if somebody gives you a bowl or something. But I have been very lucky, I will say that. I have been very, very lucky with my friends and things like that. I've never had much money, and I never will. Doesn't bother me particularly, but I've always had friends who've been kind, you know, to me and given me things. I don't mean money things. I mean, you know, they say things like, we've got an extra bowl of soup, or we've got this, do you want it, you know? Or I've bought too many whatevers and it's like a sell-by date, so do you want it or something? I've had some really, really good friends in my lifetime. But I'm the same. I mean, next door to me, she had 3 kiddies, not the same people at there now. She had 3 kiddies and not much money. So if I'd got something and it were getting too close to its sell-by date, I'd just ask her, did she want them for the kids? And yeah. And you know, you'd buy yogurt and then you'd suddenly realise that, you know, you've got like 2 days to eat 6 yogurts and you think, it's not going to happen, you know. So I used to give them for the kids, yeah. Yeah, you know, why be selfish? All it's going to do is go in the bin, isn't it? If it gets past its sell-by date, you're just going to put it in the bin. Can't be. Yeah. Yeah, my next door neighbour, the lass who died, you know, the next door, she was absolutely brilliant. She knew if she used to make soup and she used to make stews and that, and she always brought me a bowl full of whatever she'd made, yeah. Facebook's kicked you off and won't let you back in. Well, what you done, Ruth? Hopefully you'll be back in the morning. Don't worry about it too much. No, I'm afraid a lot of people in this world are self, aren't they? What's in it for me? You know, I mean, the friend I was talking to last night, and he was saying he used to go with this group of people to feed the homeless in Manchester. And he heard one of his group saying to this guy, are you homeless? Because if you're not homeless, you can't have anything to eat. And he said, well, surely he's coming here and he's hungry and he wants something to eat. Asking him, is he homeless, is degrading. You shouldn't ask him, you know, is he homeless? That's like more or less saying, are you too poor to afford anything, you know? He said, that's not the way you're supposed to do. He said, if they want food and they come to you and they look a bit down and out like type of thing, he said, you're supposed to share the food, not ask them if they're homeless. Oh, this food's only for the homeless. Yeah, I agree, Chris. I mean, there's people who have got homes who are struggling. That's why we have food banks and that. By the time they've paid their rent and by the time they've paid their electric or their gas, they've got no money left for food. You know, they don't necessarily have to have no home to get a dinner. You know, so just because they look clean and tidy because they happen to have hot water and soap at home doesn't mean that they haven't, you know, they're not hungry and they haven't got anything to eat. Yeah. Yeah, he said, I really objected to this guy, and I said to him, you know, don't ask people that. That's degrading. You know, saying, oh, to have this food, like, you know, yeah. I mean, there's lots of people. I'm fortunate enough in I don't have a lot of money, Chris, but I do have enough just to pay my bills and stuff like that. I don't have a lot of money. I don't have a lot of money spare, but I'm not desperate. I can pay my bills each month. But I mean, there are a lot of people my age who have a lot more, well, less money and more things to, they can't afford to heat the house. They can't afford to eat. They have to choose between heating or heating. You know, I mean, I'm fortunate is I own my own house, so I don't have rent to pay. I don't have things like that to find out of my pension. Yeah, I've got rates and I've got different things to find, but, you know, I am fortunate enough that I don't have to pay a rent, yeah. And, you know, I often think, how do they manage, these poor people who just basic pension, having to pay for things and stuff, how do they manage? Hi, Shadia. Oh, God, he was a little monkey that day. He disappeared twice on me. Before you ask. There you go. They look like marbles, don't they? Aren't they gorgeous? Ooh. So, we're just talking about you don't have to be homeless to be poor. Yeah, I'm lucky because I'm the age group, Dina, where I do get me prescriptions now for free, you know, because of my age and that. But I mean, there's a lot of people who are on a benefit that still have to pay. And I don't know how they manage it because I mean, I have so many medications, I'd be bankrupt before it'd take me pension money for the whole week, you know what I mean? So, food-wise, I've had to learn to, you know, not buy expensive things. You just have to, as my mum would say, cut your cloth according to your means. And just recently, I haven't bought anything like yarn or anything because I had to buy a new TV, made a dent. And before that, I had to buy a vacuum cleaner, but I'm paying for that on the monthly. So it's all what you've got to do. But I needed a new vacuum cleaner and I desperately needed a new TV. So you have to take money from something else to pay for something else, don't you? You can't. I haven't got unlimited funds, if you know what I mean. I mean, you all know what I mean. You're all in a similar situation. You can't just go out and say, yes, I'm going to buy a TV. You have to think about it. You have to look what you can cut a corner with. You have to look what you can, whatever. But everybody's sort of in well, unless you're very rich. Everybody's in a similar situation these days. They've all got limited means. I don't think any of us are millionaires on here. You know, you've just got to make things work for you. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I mean, is we've got to cut a corner, Miguel. If you can't just go out and just buy new tyres, you have to just think what you can do. And it's like me with my TV. I didn't have that kind of money. I had to just like borrow from this and borrow from that and pinch a bit from this. And I mean, I'll probably get a note from the bank anytime now saying, no, you're overdrawn again. I'm like, yeah, okay, I know. But what can you do? What can you do? Of course, when I win the lottery tonight, of course, yeah. You would wear the necklace, would you? Yeah, it's lovely. I think it's lovely. It's just like glittery marbles, like the kind you used to play with when you was a kid. You know, I love anything that glitters. Yeah, it's the same, Silver Fox. It is, especially now because of this COVID, and a lot of people have got laid off work, and people who've been put on what they call a furlough, they're only getting a percentage of their wage. They're not getting the full wage. So if they were struggling before to manage on a full wage, you know, they're only getting like 80%. So that's 20% less that they've got each week. And, you know, it's, yeah. Yeah, it's the same, Ruth. I mean, yeah, they say, oh, yeah, you can put in for this. Oh, yeah, lots of people get this. Lots of people get that. Why didn't you put in for this? Why don't you put in for that? And then when you do, it's like, oh, no, but you see, it doesn't apply to you. Or, oh, no, you're not eligible. And you think, well, there's about 6 people I know who get this, whatever. And when I apply, it's like, you don't, it doesn't apply to you, yeah. Yeah, well, it must be nice. I mean, I must confess that when I was young and I was working and my husband was working, money wasn't as tight. And, you know, it wasn't a disaster if we had to go and buy a new telly or anything like that. But I mean, now to me, it's like, oh, God, that's a big disaster. You know, I mean, I'm already paying for my boiler, you know. It's just, it's got, you see, in the UK, nobody makes more really on unemployment than they do when they're in work. Some people might if they've got like loads of kids. You know, they might get their family allowances and stuff like that. Yeah, I mean, it's a life change, Ruth, because I mean, I wasn't widowed, I was divorced. But when your main breadwinner walks out on you kind of thing, and you're left with the same bills as you had before, but there's only one small wage coming in, you have to really, you know, cope, you know, and it's very difficult, you know, that, you know, you suddenly come down from 2 wages to 1. It's difficult, yeah, very difficult. Every change in my life has been downwards, so, you know, let's talk about something a bit more cheerful. I can't go any further down. If I go any further down money-wise, I'll be down with the homeless. I'll be going down for the food. I'll be going to the soup kitchen. Tell you what, some of them soup kitchens look very tempting. Especially when you're walking past and you've not had your lunch. And you can smell homemade soup or stew or something, yeah. I don't think we have food stamps over here. I love my new purple vacuum. I absolutely adore it. It's so lightweight. Pushing it round is a dream. Still hurts my back a wee bit, but nothing like that big heavy vacuum. That used to kill me every time I hoovered. This one sort of goes on its goes off on its own. I like it even better when I've paid for it, Cheryl. Yeah. I've stopped worrying about money. As my dad used to say, if you can't pay for anything, don't lie awake. Ring up whoever you owe the money to and tell them that you can't pay them, and then they can lie awake. Yeah. Yeah, my son got me a good bargain on this one. I mean, it was still expensive, don't get me wrong. But because it has a cord, oh my God, Ruth, I don't know about that. Yeah, I didn't know it only lasted 18 months. I mean, I've not been widowed. And I won't be now because I'm not married anymore. But I suppose it depends on your age, does it really? You know, if you're not of pensionable age. I know you can't draw your pension or your widow's pension. You've got to have one or the other, haven't you? Whichever one it is. And I had a friend that was widowed. But she couldn't have the widow's pension and the pension. She had to. And I think she had to go on the pension, and it was less money than her widow's money. But she couldn't do anything about it, yeah. They certainly have you by the short and curlies, as they say in this country anyway. I'm sure it's the same in America. The rich get rich and the poor get poorer. Yeah, no, this is quite lightweight. I've got a shark, but it isn't the cordless one. It's one with a cord. It's got a massively, massively long cord, though. It's brilliant. You know, you can plug it in and go practically anywhere around the house with it. Yeah. Yeah, you won't be able to get yours. Is it 65 for women now or 67 for women? I mean, I was very, very fortunate. I retired at 60. I was one of the fortunate few. I was one of the last ones that could retire at 60. And almost immediately after I retired, they put it up to 62 or 63 or something. But I'd already been accepted because I was my age and I got my pension, so they couldn't take it off me again. You've got to be 74? Oh my God, Ruth. Can you not get any disability money or something like that? I don't know what I would have had to be if I had not retired when I was 62. Now I haven't got a clue. It went to about 62 just after I retired, but then it's gone up and up since then. It's gone to 65 and 66 or something like that. Are you sure you have to be 74, Ruth? Have I told you that for definite? Yeah. Hi, Brittany. Oh. I wouldn't have thought. Well, I don't know. Don't take me for any granted. I don't really know, Ruth, but I'm sure it's worthwhile making more inquiries than that. I'm sure you'll be able to retire at the normal retiring age. I think it's the same over here, Dina. Either 65 or 67. Yeah, I'm going to sleep here. I know I shouldn't be. It's only 10 to 12. Yeah. Yeah, you need to check it all out, Ruth, because, you know, they don't tell you what you're entitled to. You have to go and find out. You know, nobody says, oh, by the way, you can claim this, you can claim that, you can claim the other. Nobody tells you that bit. All the people are in the know. They know all the ins and outs. They know all the things they can apply for. They know all the things that they can claim. But if you're just an ordinary woman in the street and you don't know these things, then nobody tells you. Nobody tells you anything. You know, I mean, when I first retired, they told me I could only have so much. And I thought, hang on, I've been working all my life. You know, what do you mean I can't have a full pension? And they said, oh, you can't have a full pension because you've only been self-employed stamp. And I went, I've been paying more in my national insurance than anybody else because my self-employment stamp was more expensive than my husband's stamp. Yeah, a stamp is like what they call your contributions to the national insurance. Yeah. So anyway, I inquired and I said, this isn't right. And he goes, oh, well, you know, you've only got this, that, and the other. I said, yeah, but I was married for 30 odd years. Ah. Was your husband in full-time work? I said, yeah, he never had a day out of work. He was working from 17 up to the time we got divorced. Ah, you can claim off his insurance then. So then I got the full money. But they didn't tell me that. I had to really fight and go through all round the houses to actually find that bit out. Otherwise, they would have left me with that tiny bit of pension and not told me. You know, that I could claim off my husband's paying, you know, national insurance. Yeah. They don't tell you anything, do they, Tina? They just expect you to either know it or they don't call you in and say, right, this is what you've got, this is what you can claim. Do you know you can claim this? Do you know you can claim that? No. You'd think it was their money that they're doling out. You think it was out of their personal bank account that they're doling it out. Because they don't tell you. And I used to work in the Department of Works and Pensions. This is what makes me laugh. And they tried to diddle me out of my money. I thought, no. It was the same with my disability money. When I first claimed for my disability money, I mean, my back is bad now, but my back was like 10 times worse back then because I hadn't had my operation or anything. And I couldn't walk. I just kept falling over. I just couldn't walk. My legs used to give way underneath me. And oh, the performance I had with the Department of Works and Pensions about my disability money. 3 times they turned me down. 3 times I went to tribunal. I went to whatever. Anyway, the 3rd time I just let rip at them. I really lost my temper with them because I could tell they were just, with the way they were going, I knew what they were going to turn me down. So I just let them have it all full barrels. And I got it in the end because I just blasted them out of the water. I said, I used to work for the DWP. I know what I'm entitled to. I am entitled to this. I'm entitled to that. And while we're on the subject, I'll have my taxi fare back, please, because I'm entitled to that as well. Oh, what do you mean? I said, it's here. I said, it's in the handbook from the Department of Works and Pensions that I am entitled to this. I'm entitled to that. I'm entitled to the other, and you're refusing it. What's your grounds for refusing me? I just lost my temper with them completely. And I did get what I'd set out to get. In the end, it took me 3 goes, about 2.5 years, yeah. Yeah. But I did. But they were determined they weren't going to give me it. And I was just as equally determined I was going to batter them until I did. I said, you don't know who you're dealing with. I said, I used to work for you, buggers, yeah. Oh, how long were you working? I said, 15 years. I worked for the Department of Works and Pensions, so I know exactly what I'm entitled to. I said, and you're treating me like I'm telling lies. I'm sitting here telling you lies. I said, yeah. I've got all these letters from my specialist saying I can't walk, saying that I fall over. My legs used to just go from under me. I was on the deck. But this is what they're like over here. I don't know what they're like in America, but this is what they're like in the UK. You know, you don't get disability. I used to work and I used to watch people with supposedly full disability money running, walking, jumping over fences, yeah. And I used to think, they're getting full disability money. I still don't get full disability money, not even now. You know, even though they know what state I'm in, that I can't walk, I can't do things for myself. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, they expect old people. Go online, www.com this, .com that. They haven't got a phone. They haven't got a smartphone. They don't have a computer. They don't know anything. You go to our Citizens Advice Bureau and it's shut. It only opens like one day a week or whatever. And then you've got to book and you can't get an appointment. Trying to get in the Citizens Advice Bureau is like trying to knit fog. I mean, it's no wonder elderly people starve to death because they don't know how to get benefit money. There was one in the paper the other day, some disabled man hadn't been able to get his money and they found him starved to death. And I'm thinking, this is 2020. There shouldn't be people starving to death because they can't get the money. He was about 84, bless him. He shouldn't be sitting there, no food, starved to death and dying on his own. It's ridiculous in this day and age. You don't do the forms anymore. You should. You should get somebody to do it for you, Ruth. You should get some social workers or whatever on the case and get help to get through it. Yeah. Try to speak to somebody. Even if you have to batter your way through to speak to people. If you can go online and look for all the services like Age UK, anything, just get anybody that you can involved and, see what they can do for you, see what they can offer you. As I say, in this country, nobody tells you anything. No, the CAB don't do forms anymore. They haven't got the time. But no, they won't do it, Chris. They just won't. A lot of the forms now are done by the phone, Ruth. Things like that. I mean, how do blind people cope? They can't do the forms. If you don't answer the forms absolutely correctly, they send them back to you because you said a word wrong here, you said a word wrong there. The last time I filled a paper form out was quite a long time ago, and my niece actually filled it in for me. I mean, I was there, dictated it to her. She didn't fill it in for me without me being there, if you know what I mean. But she wrote it all out for me and said exactly what was wrong with me and everything like that. You're not old enough for Age UK. There must be something that you can somewhere. Even if the Citizens Advice Bureau won't do your forms, they can maybe direct you in the direction of a place that will do your forms with you, will go through them with you. You have to keep bashing on, Ruth. Don't just accept what they say to you and think, oh, well, that's it. I can't do this or I can't do that. Don't accept it. Just keep plugging away, and eventually you'll get through somewhere because they'll be absolutely fed up with you. And they'll go, oh, my God, we'll have to do something with Ruth because she's getting on our nerves now. You have to. They want you to go away. They want you to give up. Just go away. That's what they want you to do. They don't want you to claim. I'm sure that they think it's their own money and coming out of their own blooming purse. It's not the government. The way they talk about it, they're like little Hitlers in there somehow. Yeah, I mean, I was lucky I had my niece to help me fill in mine. She's more skilled with the use of words, let's just say. Oh, I've frozen. Oh, I have frozen. Oh, I'm not frozen anymore now. Yeah, there's got to be some. They can't just leave you, Ruth, without being able to fill a form in. There's got to be somebody. It's just finding out who. But if you don't keep bashing and banging on doors, you're not going to get there. Nobody will come to you if you sit at home saying, "Oh, I can't do this, I can't do that." Nobody will do it for you. You have to keep banging and banging and banging until somebody lets you in, if you know what I mean. Yeah, they've cut down on all the offices over here, Cheryl. There's nobody actually that will sit there physically and fill the form in. Yeah, I know, it's awful, isn't it, of Silver Fox? It's just, I mean, over here they've cut back, cut back, cut back on mental health issues over here. There's so many people wanting help and so many people can't get it, you know. Yeah, you need to keep asking everybody that you can think of to help you. Yeah. You know, just go to everybody that you know and say, look, I can't do this. There must be somebody that will help me. I can't do it on my own. You know, don't just give up because, like I said, that's what they want you to do. They want you to give up and go away and not bother them. Yeah. I don't know about that, Teresa, but I mean, I was kind of strong enough and had enough knowledge to batter away till I got what I wanted. I mean, the first two times I went in, I was a bit more, oh, well, maybe they know best and all this, that, and the other. But the third time I was so riled up, I thought, if they're going to turn me down, they're going to know why they're turning me down, and I'm going to blast them. And I did. I gave them both barrels. They didn't like it. All three of them were sat there looking at me with their eyes like that. And I thought, I don't care. I don't care. You're not doing this to me again. They told me to go and wait in a room. And when I went back in, they said, we've decided to give it to you. I thought, thank God for that. Because I would have strangled a lot of you. I dropped me crutches halfway through the interview. And this woman said, would you like me to pick those up for you? I said, well, unless you want to pick me up off the floor, I suggest the lesser of the two evils is picking up the crutches. She went, oh, right, sorry. So she came round and picked up my crutches for me. I said, you've got two choices. Either you pick me up off the floor or you pick them up. I said, because I can't do them. Yeah. Oh, I was in the right mood that day. You think I'm dead sweetness and light, but I had my rag up that day. I thought, you are not turning me down again. I mean, I walked in the room and it was like the end of a long corridor. So I walked in the room. I said, oh, nice try. She said, what do you mean, nice try? I said, all these empty rooms, I said, along this corridor. I said, and where are you? The far end. I said, is that so that you can tell me if I can walk to this far end, I don't need any disability money? I said, but you asked your friend. I said, I sat down about 4 times on the way up here. You asked the lad who was, showing me in. I said, I'm not falling for that one. Oh, they said to me when I went in, the lift's broken, you'll have to use the stairs. I said, no. I said, I'm not using the stairs. I said, I can't do the stairs. I said, if the lift's broken, then get somebody to come down here and see me in one of these rooms. I said, because there's no way I'm taking the stairs. So then she turns around and says, oh, I'll just test the lift. Maybe it's working now. I thought, you lying bastard. There was nothing wrong with the damn lift. Say, oh, you can do the stairs then, can you? Nope, don't get me with that one. I'd already been warned on that one. If they tell you the lift's broken, tell them you're not going. Rebook it. Well, this is what they're like. This is what they're like at these, what do you call them? Tribunals. Yeah. Mm, yeah. Tell you their lift's broken. Honestly, they're not. And the doctors that they employ, well, the so-called doctors that they employ, you know, oh, I was feisty. I tell you, I was in that mood. They'd turned me down twice, and this was the third time, and I wasn't going down without a fight, Cheryl. I'm normally placid, normally really, really placid. Yeah. I mean, we used to have people coming in our job centre that had been sent letters for a back-to-work interview when they had terminal cancer. I used to feel so embarrassed. I know it was a generic letter that they used to send out to everyone who was on a benefit. But hang on a minute, surely you should have some way of writing on your system that this person has got terminal cancer and isn't expected to live long. God, I used to have to fend off some very, very angry people. And I was angry for it. I thought they shouldn't be asked, shouldn't be given letters like that. Come to a back-to-work interview, and the poor buggers have got 6 months to live. But that's the Department of Works and Pensions over here. They don't give a toss. Yeah. Sending out letters to people when they've died, you know, after they've gone. Yeah. Yeah, sorry about that, Ruth. Yeah. Yeah, I know, Tina. They just... they read a script and you can't deviate off that script. You can't go to the left or the right. You've got to go straight down the script. They don't have any leeways for you saying, but this lady's this, that, the other. But this gentleman's this, that, and the other. It's like, no, you're sticking to the script. That's what you paid for. That's what you got to do. I hated that place. Hated it with a passion. I was so glad to leave. They had no compassion at all. They were all jobs worthy. They were all, you know, the letter of the whatever. It's not your place to do that. It's not your job to do that. If I got told that one more. I mean, before I left, I had a right run-in with the manageress because she was really taking the pee. So I just went in there and ripped her off a shred. And when I come out, everybody was saying, what went on in there? We could hear you yelling. I said, yelling? I said, I nearly wiped the blooming desk with her. So she's not telling me what to do. I said, I'm leaving, whatever you want. I said, I put my papers in for retiring. I said, until I retire, I said, I am doing what I want to do. I am not doing what you're telling me what to do. I said, because I tell you what, I said, I'm going straight to the doctors, get a 6 month sick note. Oh, you can't do that. You can't. I said, can't I? I said, so either I stay doing what I'm doing, you're not swapping me about, you're not changing me about, I'll get a 6 month sick note and I'll be out of here. And then I'll retire from the sick note. Oh, she didn't like it. She didn't like it. She thought she was getting one over on me. You'll go where I put you, lady, she said to me. If I want to change your desk, if I want to do this, I'll put you where you... At your rank, she said, you haven't got the right to choose where you want to go. I said, oh, don't I? Don't I? I was I mean, there must have been all listening at the door when I was yelling at her. I mean, I wouldn't have dared yell at her if I wasn't leaving, but I knew I was leaving, so I didn't care. I didn't need a reference, did I, because I was retiring. I didn't care whether she said I was whatever. She could put whatever she wanted on my reference because I wasn't getting another job. It was a lovely feeling. It's so lovely when you can actually get off your chest what you've been thinking for about the last 15 years you've been working there. You can actually just go in with like your both barrels blasting, you know. Back on Retired. Yeah, but we can put you on this and we can put you on that. And I said, no, I'm not coming. I'm not coming back. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, we had a brilliant social worker when my dad got dementia. He helped my mum make the decision to put my dad in a home because she didn't want to. But we kept telling mum she couldn't cope. She was in a wheelchair. She could not cope. You know, my dad was like off his head. He'd be wandering out in the street without his underwear. And if she locked him in and hid the key, he'd be trying to climb out the windows, you know, because she lived in a bungalow. And, you know, he'd have his shirt on but no underwear and things. And, we had to do something with him. We couldn't leave him like that. His pride and whatever, you know. We couldn't have him walking up to the village like with not his underwear on and stuff. But my mum, she had a brilliant social worker. He eventually talked her around into the fact that my dad had to go in a home, yeah. I mean, she didn't want to do it. We didn't want to do it. It wasn't something that we did lightly. You know, nobody wants to put their parents in a home. Nobody does. But he wanted 24-hour care. And my mother was older than him and she was in a wheelchair and she just could not do it. But she was trying and she was battling and she was phoning me up and crying that she couldn't do this and she couldn't do that. So I was having to go out the shop, sort my dad out. And it's not nice having to sort your father out. You know, it's embarrassing, you know, having to clean him up and sort him out when he's had accidents and that. It's not what you should be doing for your own. I did it because it was my dad, but yeah. Some women are worse than men. Some women get a little bit of power. My boss was a woman. They get that little bit of power and they get drunk on it, yeah. Well, I was trying to run a shop, Ruth, and I was trying to do everything, look after my mum who was in a wheelchair, who wanted shopping doing and stuff. And I couldn't look after my dad because my dad wanted full-time care. I couldn't do that and look after a shop and look after my home as well and my son. You know, I was run ragged at that time. I mean, you're trying to do your best for your parents. You don't want to put them in a home. That's not an option as far as you're concerned, but you can't do it. There comes a time when you have to hold your hands up and say, look, it's too much for everybody. We can't do it anymore. You know, if he'd have just had dementia and he was just like forgetting stuff and things like that, but it was the fact that he was wandering all over the place. You know, it was, you know, you didn't know what he was doing, where he was going. He'd wander off and my mum couldn't find him and she'd be crying because your dad's, you know, and you're looking all around, looking everywhere for him, see if you could find him. And, oh, it's just so hard. It's so hard when they get dementia. I hope I never get it. But like Arian said, well, how will you know if you have it? Because you'll be just gone away with the fairies, you know. I said, I'll just slip something in my tea. Just sort me out. That's the biggest fear of anything. Physical disability, you know, whatever. But having a stroke or losing my marbles I just fear that most of all. You know, losing control of everything. I've already made my son like giving power of attorney. I've already done that in my will and that because, like the solicitor said, you never know. At your age, you never know. You're going to have a stroke. You could, you know, something could happen to you, have a heart attack. You need power of attorney to deal with all your affairs because otherwise it's very difficult for him to even go to the bank to sort out everything, you know. So when they've got Alzheimer's and dementia, they just get something in the head, and it could be the middle of the night, and they just get this idea that they're going to the shop or something, and they just set off, and they could be wearing a vest and no underwear or anything, no shoes. They just decide they're going for a walk, you know. Yeah. It's just a horrible, horrible disease. It really is, yeah. Yeah, you just... My dad, it was for his own safety because he was doing so many stupid things, and my mother couldn't cope. Like, he'd sit in his chair and then he'd have a wee. And my mother had all this padding and stuff on the chair. But I mean, I said to her, Mum, I'm sorry, but it smells in here. It really smells, because he was ruining the chair. Because no matter how many things she put underneath it, he was just weeing on the chair and weeing on the floor. And it was too much for her. And if he put him in any diaper things, he'd just take them off and throw them away. You know, I'm not a baby. It's just a horrible, horrible thing. I think it's one of the worst diseases ever. I know cancer's bad, but I think dementia is just, because it can live on for years and years and years. They can live with dementia. And they don't know, you see, they don't know that they're suffering with it. They've got no idea. You're going witless, like wondering where they are. You've got to watch them every minute. You practically have to put them on a dog lead, you know, because they wander off, and you turn around and 1 minute they're with you and you turn around again and they've vanished. I mean, my dad couldn't walk fast. He used to shuffle. But my God, he used to disappear when you... The number of times people used to bring him to the shop and say, we just found your dad wandering. I used to always pray he was fully clothed when they found him wandering. But I mean, everybody knew my dad because we lived in a little village, you know, and, you know, people sort of... They used to feel sorry for him. They used to bring him back to me. I'd be ringing my mum saying, Dad's here, you know, what's he doing there? I said, somebody's brought him back. Oh, well, I can't come and get him. You'll have to bring him home. So I had to shut the shop, put my dad in the car, take him home again. Oh, it was a... But you do it because it's your parents, don't you? You do it. Yeah. With my mum, it was different. She didn't lose her marbles at all, but she broke her hip. And she was just getting repaired from her hip because she's got osteoporosis and spondylitis, and she couldn't... her hip wasn't healing. And then just when it was sort of healing and they were talking about she maybe come home for Christmas, she fell. And they couldn't repair it again because there was nothing to repair. The hip bone was just shattered in a million pieces, and they couldn't give her a new hip. So from then on, she was just bedridden. So she never came out of hospital. Yeah. Oh, he used to have to shave me dad because he was a proud man, and he used to always pride himself. He'd always be shaved and clean shirt and tie on every day. And, you know, you practically had to prise him out of his shirt, you know, that he'd had on for 2 days. Dad, you need to change your shirt. Why? No, nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong with it. He'd be full of spills all down the floor. Oh. And you had to try and shave him, and he'd be batting you away. You know, I don't need a shave. Don't need. I've had one. I had one this morning. Don't need one. Oh. A pot with all my makeup brushes has just jumped off the the printer and fallen on the floor. Luckily, it hasn't broken. Yeah, go to bed with. Oh gosh. Yeah. Yeah, clothes. Oh, trying to get trousers. Put your trousers on, Dad. Why? Because you need trousers on. Why? Don't want them. Well, you need them. Put your shoes on. Don't want them. As fast as you're putting them on, who's taking them off again? I don't want them on. Don't want them. It was one of these ceramic pots that had all, this has got my makeup in, but the other one had my makeup brushes, and it just jumped off the printer and fell on the floor. It hasn't broken, I don't think. Don't think it's broken. But all my brushes are all over the floor. Oh dear. There were bathroom things, but I had to, no, it hasn't broken. I had to move them because one fell into the wash basin and cracked it. And I had a terrible wrangle with the insurance. So I took them out of the bathroom after that. It was pretty because my bathroom was that colour at the time. So now they're makeup pots. They have all my, that one usually has my brushes in, but my brushes are scattered all over the floor, so I'll have to pick them up in a bit. Oh, but I don't know why it jumped off. It was gremlins. It was my dad saying, don't talk about me. It was my dad saying, stop talking about me. Oh gosh, yeah, bathing. Oh my goody aunt. Trying to get him in a bath. Oh no. Yeah, that was my dad telling me, don't talk about me. I always remember the day after he died, I had to go up and get all his clothes from the home. And my mum couldn't do it. She said she couldn't face it. So I went up and got bin bags and got all his stuff, all his belongings, because they wanted to clear the room. And I put them upstairs in the shop, upstairs in the stock room at the shop. And my mum said, what we're going to do with them? I said, well, do you want anything? And she said, well, I wouldn't mind keeping a couple of his jumpers, because she'd hand knitted them, like, you know. Wouldn't mind keeping a couple of jumpers and I can wear them to be close to him. I said, yeah, fair enough, we'll sort you out some of that. What am I going to do with the rest of them? Now, my dad absolutely hated charity shops because they didn't have to pay rates and everything, and we were struggling to pay rates in the shop and everything like that. And he used to say, it's not fair, all these charity shops getting freebies and all that. They're killing all the trade in this precinct. They're killing it, because we had about 3 charity shops at the time. And my mum said, well, we'll have to take them to the charity shop. And then there was this almighty clatter upstairs from where I'd just put my dad's stuff. And when I went upstairs, there was a big brush had fallen over and the ladders had fallen. And I said, that's my dad saying what he thinks about the idea of us taking him to the charity shop. I said, my dad doesn't like the idea. But eventually they had to go there. We kept them upstairs for a long time. But eventually they had to go because we had nowhere else, but nothing else to do, nowhere else to put them. So, sorry, Dad, they did have to go to the charity shop. Because there was nobody in the family that anything would fit, because he was a short man and he had short arms and short legs. So, like, none of his clothes would fit anybody else in the family because all the sleeves of everything were too short and all the trouser legs were too short. And nobody, he had some brand new shoes, leather shoes, but nobody in the family had the same size feet. So, what do you do? I mean, there was no such thing as eBay back in the day, you know. You couldn't put them on eBay and sell them, give them some money, like, you know. I mean, the shoes, they were brand new and they were leather and he'd paid a lot for them, but there was nothing that we could do back then. Right, well, on this happy note about dementia and stuff like that, I'm going to go. So I'm sorry if I've got you all depressed today. And so that's, at least tomorrow I can have a little lie-in. Didn't have a lie-in this morning, but I can have a lie-in tomorrow. Take my makeup off, swallow my pills, go to bed before I start yawning. Before I yawn anymore. I've got to choose some buttons for that cardigan behind me tomorrow. Yeah, they're supposed to be opening very soon, but when you take them in, they can't open the bags for 72 hours, I believe. Something to do with, in case there's any virus or something, yeah. Yeah, I've got my flag sander, but I found out they're plastic. So I've got to get little sticky bits of paper and stick names on my little plastic flags before I can stick them on. Because I can't write on the plastic, not even with a Sharpie. I think I've got some nice cream buttons in the garage rather than, it'll be wooden if I can't find anything nice in cream. But I think I've got some nice cream buttons. A little bit fancy in the garage, I think. They're like cream, I think, with a bit of a gold edge on them. If I can remember rightly, I think I've got some. Because it's only tiny buttonholes, so they're only going to be tiny buttons, yeah. Right, I'm going to leave you all. I love you, and I'm sorry if I've bored you with all this talk about dementia and Alzheimer's. And if I start going a bit funny, you will let me know, won't you? Yeah, good luck, Ruth, with everything, and hope you get everything sorted with your forms and stuff, yeah. So good night, everybody, and I will see you all maybe in the middle of the week, not for a live, but in the middle of the week for a video. Who knows? Who knows? So we'll say good night to everybody. Good night. Bye-bye.